Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by most but not all of the Doctrinaires. Tim Andrews is here. Autumn Fisher taking the day off. But of course, Jared Yamamoto is with us.
Well, I had to come because it's National Boyfriend Day.
Oh, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
Of course.
Is your boyfriend here?
That's
I am a boyfriend.
Yeah, you're. This is your day.
Yeah, my day to shine.
Sadly, I have to say that I'm filled with loneliness in my life because I do not currently have a boyfriend.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I'm between boyfriends, as you may or may not know.
What are you doing after the show?
Well, don't, Tim, come on, man. I can't. I've met your wife. We can't be boyfriend and boyfriend. I can't do that. I have to find somebody who's currently free. You, in fact, are. You know, a husband is somebody's boyfriend, and so, in a way, except they kind of own you. All right. You know, I want to say right off the top this morning that I don't know about the rest of you, and by you I mean you, and also you listening. I don't know about the rest of you. I am already so sick and tired of impeachment stories. I've already had enough, and I realize it's like when you know you have to eat a long. Like you go to somebody's house, right? And I have a narrow palate, and if we go to somebody's house for the first time and they cook, and the first bite I realize, this ain't my cup of tea. Metaphorically, we're not drinking tea, you understand. But, I mean, this is not, I don't like this. But then you realize, oh, my God, this is the first bite. And I've got a long meal to go through. And I'm already sick of impeachment. And this is less than the first bite over the next few months. I think they're going to try to wrap it up by the end of the year and get it done so they can take that into the Iowa caucuses with them. But I'm not watching any television. I'm not watching any news. I'm not watching any. I'm just not interested. I don't understand how everyone else doesn't see how boring it is every day to just keep eating. I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but if I ate one every day, by the end of the week, I wouldn't want another peanut butter and jelly sandwich as long as I lived. I don't understand people who wake up looking forward to it. What's our side saying today in the impeachment inquiry? What are the talking points? How can I rebut my friends who disagree with me and then go to sleep and then the sun rises and tomorrow again it's the same? I'm already out. I'm already bored. Of course, we're going to cover it because we cover everything under the sun here. But I was talking to my radio guru / consultant, Clive Cliverson, and we came up with this plan because you told me impeachment is a heavy topic.
Yeah, it's right out there. You can't ignore it. It's like the sun.
Yeah, you cannot ignore the sun.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can try. You can live in a hole, I guess.
Who wants to live in a hole?
I mean, how are you going to hear all the news?
That's right. So he decided what we need more is what we call for people who aren't in media, it's called a kicker story.
Yeah.
But what it is basically it's a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Right.
If you've noticed when you watch the local news or the national news, it's all heavy-duty stories. Like local news. Local news should just start out it's just like murder and this here's the latest on the most horrible amongst us, but then at the end they'll have what they call the kicker story. And what that is that's when you see footage of like a squirrel on water skis or something. Doesn't mean anything, but it's that spoonful of sugar that helps the impeachment medicine go down. So we decided, we get a thing called snackable content. So we decided to bring in a new character for the show. This is Snacky.
Hey!
This is Snacky with his snackable content.
Hey guys.
Hi, Snacky.
Nice to see you, Eric. How's it going?
Yeah, it's great to see you, Snacky.
It is so great to be here. The sun's coming up. It's a beautiful day. The heat's going to go away tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Snacky is going to bring us...
Hi, Jared.
Hi, Snacky. How are you?
I'm glad you're excited. Braves are going to go to playoffs. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's right, Snacky.
Snacky is going to bring us vacuous kicker stories.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what?
You want to hear one right now?
An example of some of Snacky's snackable content.
All right, guys, guess what? I got a story about a history of jack-o'-lanterns that's right up your alley.
This is a history of jack-o'-lanterns.
That's right. You know what a jack-o'-lantern is?
Yes, I do, Snacky.
It's Halloween season.
Yeah, I understand that, Snacky. But what you're telling me is you want me to go to whether I'm the history of jack-o'-lanterns?
Right.
I don't have any interest in that whatsoever.
Oh, come on. It's super duper interesting. It's a gourd that you cut open, rip all of its guts out, put a top back on, and you got a smiley face in it.
I don't really need the history
with a candle.
Yes, I don't really need a history of jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh, you love jack-o'. I knew you're a Halloween guy. Jerry, let's make him smile.
Okay, all right, Snacky.
All right,
Here's my assumption, Snacky. Here's my assumption.
Mm-hmm.
So the pumpkin looks a lot like the human head. So inevitably, sooner or later, somebody was going to carve a face into it. So I don't see a lot of need for that.
See what you're doing here is you're making it negative.
Oh, I apologize.
This is positivity. No one's carving people's heads open and putting candles in them on their front porch.
All right, how about you pitch another snackable?
I got a great one right here. Jared.
I'm excited.
You're gonna love this one
Snacky.
because Jared has one of these. Okay. Did you guys hear about the scary Jeep in Kentucky?
What? Did we hear about the scary Jeep in Kentucky?
Oh, it's the biggest news.
I have no interest in a scary... I imagine the Jeep turned out to be just a regular Jeep and everything was fine.
It's a Jeep and they painted it to make it look like the It monster. Pennywise the Clown all over the Jeep. It's so cool.
All right.
My gosh.
Okay, Snacky, we welcome you to the family. And anytime we get a little too heavy...
Here's a good one. You want one more?
Snacky, you have more snackable
This one is a Halloween.
We haven't even gotten to the entree yet.
I got hundreds.
Okay, hold on. I want you to hold
This is the bread service.
Okay, hold on with your next snackable content story. And whenever we get a little too heavy, you can. I was going to say annoy us. You can interrupt us.
He doesn't annoy us.
No. How could Snacky annoy us with his?
Just enough snacks to go around for everybody. Snacky, snack on me.
With your innocuous kicker stories that everyone loves. Yes.
Hey, Eric, where did Snacky get that bag of white powder?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Everybody needs their own snackable content. That's my snackable content.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't want to know that this mood is artificially created.
I'm happy 24/7. Sometimes you need a kicker yourself. Is that right?
That's right. You need a kicker. Everybody needs a kicker.
Everyone needs a kicker. If they got bad news in their life, they got a bag.
Well, they say a bump. Everybody needs a bump.
Everybody needs a bump. Bump yourself up.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Headlines for Thursday, October 3rd.
All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Snacky. Now, hold on. We're going to do a couple of heavy stories.
That's okay.
All right.
I'll be here smiling. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, can you do this? It's your pearly teeth.
I'm just going to sit right behind you and smile.
Blinded. Start
And
looking a little
breathe
bit,
through my mouth.
a little bit creepy.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Snacky.
Funny running into you here at the convenience store. I got a good news story for you.
I don't think you ran into me. I feel as if you followed me here. All right. I don't need you in my whole life. I just need you during the show.
Your wife's out of town. You need something. I'll stop by the store and get something cooked up for you.
No, I'm all right.
You sure?
No,
I know you don't like fish.
I don't like fish. I don't like the fish. I don't like seafood.
No, I don't either.
Oh, good.
Except for shrimp and crab.
No, I don't like that.
And lobster.
No, I don't. But other than
And
that.
scallops and sea bass. Other than that.
No seafood.
Snacky will always keep you company when you need somebody, when you're feeling blue.
And when you don't need somebody. That's the best kind of friend. They're there whether you need them or not.
Don't feel blue.
All right. What do you have for me?
Oh, I got some good news
This
here.
is good news. You like this, Snacky? This is good news.
Sounds ominous.
Don't get frightened, Snacky.
Braves postseason baseball starts tonight, guys. The Braves host the Cardinals at SunTrust Park.
This is exciting.
Gates open at 2:30. First pitch at 5:02. I will be there.
Yeah, you're going to be there. And can I tell you something? I put two things together. I'm not going to be there. It's sold out, and it's going to be the hottest that this day's ever been since 1910 or something.
Yeah.
Here's the good news. I was listening to Kirk Mellish on the way in, and I put this together. He didn't do it as look out at the Braves game, but the hottest part of the day that might be the hottest day that this day has been in 100 years, leading right up to first pitch. My understanding between 4 and 5 is going to be when we hit 96, 97. So what I'm saying to you and all other good Braves fans, and to the team, they shouldn't have to hear this. They're athletes, but everyone needs to hydrate. Now, I love this Braves team. I'm very excited about this, but the reason that I won't be there is two things. The heat and a little bird. Somebody told me something that you may not know. It turns out this one's being televised.
What?
So yeah, I will be.
Wow.
I will be watching the first game of the series from my air conditioned home, which is I'm kind of like that. But I'm very excited. Dallas Keuchel on the mound. Dallas is obviously great. He's had a couple of bad outings, a couple of unbelievable outings, and a few, I'd say what he's been able to do more than anything is if he loses control early in the first couple of innings, if there's a couple of runs, he has the maturity and he's been around long enough that he can actually pull it back together again.
Hey, he's won a World Series.
Yeah, he can give up 2 runs in the first and leave the game in the 6th, and it's still 2 runs. Whereas some of our other pitchers can be lights out, but if they begin a meltdown, it's almost inevitable that it continues. So I feel good, but I really feel like it's on his arm. If he's listening, I don't want to put too much pressure on him. You know, he's only pitched in the post series before and won the Cy Young Award. I'm sure that some idiot on the radio could put a little too much pressure on him, but it's really on the way that his pitching. If he can keep it close, I think it's the Braves. It's just the way the team is. You just don't want to get lost in 5 or 6 or 7 by the time you get into the bench. I mean, not the bench, the bullpen.
I can't believe, Eric, that you're not going to go out there and support Mark Arum. He's broadcasting from 4 to 5 right in front of the Delta Gate at SunTrust Park.
Well, as you may or may not know, Mark Arum and I cannot stand one another, and we rarely, if ever, appear together. No, I love Mark Arum. He loves me.
Hey, Longoria, go ahead and get some of those burgers down there at Whataburger.
So he's going to be doing his show today from 4 to 6 out there.
From 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
Then Erickson will fill in from 5
I'm getting
until
confused
7.
Here. That's usually Erickson's time.
Yeah, Arum will only be on for an hour because first pitch is at 5:02, so that way Arum can go into the game.
Hannity's going to get jealous, and you get another personality only on for an hour in
Hey, I'm the 1 hour man here. I get more done in 1 hour here on WSB.
But you're not going to be
than
there.
Rush can do in 4.
You don't go after Rush that way.
I'm not going after Rush. I'm telling you, he does a lot of commercials. And he takes a lot of phone calls.
Sounds to me like you're attacking Rush Limbaugh.
Well, I could use some of that Mohindra money. I can tell you that right now. I'm stuck with Jewel. They're shutting it down. I'm gonna have to go back to smoking.
That's all right. You'll be okay. You'll find another vaping device.
No, I'm going back to smoking. Just to show those liberal nannies everything.
The nanny state.
It's a nanny state. I should be able to put anything in my body that I like.
All right. So
I mean that.
So go Braves.
Go Braves.
Right? Sean Hannity, you lived in this area, Braves fan.
I used to live down here, that's right. And now I'm a New York Yankees fan. Go Yankees!
Can I say something to the Braves fans as we get going here? This has been a great season. This is a great team, and appreciate this postseason. I don't know if this is the year where they go all the way and do it all. It might be, because they're the kind of team that if they heat up at the right time, nobody can touch them. Will they heat up like that? Couple of nagging injuries with Freeman and Acuna to start things off. What I would like to say is this is not just a one-year thing. Obviously, we're in the 2nd year, so that's obvious. But this is not peaking. I think that, if anything, we may still be showing a little early because this team has depth. Every time somebody gets hurt, they call up a couple people from Gwinnett, and they come in, hit home runs, field great. This team has depth for the next few years. I want it to go all the way, but keep things into perspective. This is not the last playoff trip this team is going to make in the next few seasons. It's a really solid team. It's a deep team. Let's just have fun. Let's go all the way if we can, and let's appreciate them if it stops a little short of that. That's my point of view. So have fun, players and fans. Play ball. What's next?
The future is here, fellas.
Oh,
Peachtree Corners.
Oh, then I can leave. My
it's noon?
My contract ends when the future gets here. Yeah. I don't know so I'm done. How do we know?
Is it still female?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
Of course
Absolutely.
it is.
All right,
Why
good.
would that change?
It's not even really the future until most men are gone.
Yeah.
Well, Peachtree Corners has declared the future is here because
Peachtree Corners.
Peachtree Corners, the city of Peachtree Corners, they've
Is that a full
launched.
city? Is Peachtree Corners a full city?
Yeah.
I thought it was just an area.
It was just a street, man.
I thought it was that weird area where all those corners come together.
And there's peach
No?
trees there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. I haven't seen a peach tree in the 21 years I've been in
I have,
Atlanta.
but it's only when I drive through South Carolina.
All right, so
Peachtree Corners,
yes.
they've launched a free self-driving shuttle service.
Oh, that's what I want.
And the robotic shuttle is named Olli, and he has room for 10 people to ride and will operate Monday through Friday through Peachtree Corners.
You know, the mayor of Peachtree Corners. So yeah, it's a. I'm sorry to say, I thought Peachtree Corners was kind of a, maybe a hamlet. Didn't realize it was a
Hamlet.
perhaps a small village. I didn't know it was a full-on city. So I was ignorant on that. He said, in the story, I agree with them. Yeah, it's a small place, Peachtree Corners. They're the first ones to do it, apparently.
That's
in the
right.
country. I don't know about the world, but in the country. And so this thing will just go around. It'll be in one lane all the time. Always available. Makes 7 stops routinely. Now, I don't know if you can push a button and get off where you want, like
Just
the
tell
bus.
Olli what you want.
Hey, Ollie!
Yes.
Here's the good news. Now, bad news is when we lose a human job, right? The driver. Good news is Ollie the robot never falls asleep.
The Von Haessler Doctrine.
I just love tuning in because it feels like I'm listening to like friends in a conversation.
9 till noon on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
And I don't know if you people know this, but after all of my great years of radio service in the metro Atlanta area, I've never won one single award for anything. And the station, this WSB, this station wins awards all the time. And there's so many awards that out there where usually people put food when they say anybody can eat this food.
The trough.
The trough. Anybody, when something's on the trough, whether it's a CD, a book, food, if it's there, what it means is anybody can take this if they want to. There's like 6 Gabby Awards sitting over there from 2019. And I looked at a couple of them, and I realized I've never won an award in my life. I'd like to have an award in my office. What the hell? It makes your office look better. So I looked at one, and one says it's an award. It's the Gabby in the election night 2018. And I thought, hey, I was on that coverage. So I'm demanding permission from my bosses. I've got it in my hands right now. I want to be able to put that Gabby in my office. And then finally, I will know that my career meant something. Oh, come on. The years and years and years of huge audiences and people telling me how wonderful I am and the money that fell from the sky. Well, I didn't get the point. I didn't get the point with all that. What I need is an award, a trophy. And I'm taking it, damn it. You want to know why? Because I deserve it. And you like me. All right, I guess we're back. I better start speaking. That's why they gave me this microphone. Not just to stare at it. I'm staring at my new award. I tell you I won a Gabby?
Proud of you, man.
Well, really, I was just there. I was in the station when the station won an award, but I've never had an award before. I've never had an award before, and I'm just staring at this because it's just made all of glass. It's beautiful.
It's not plexiglass?
No, this is real glass.
I thought somebody
It's a
had bitten it
real
around the
award.
outside.
What's that?
It's got teeth marks around the outside,
Yeah,
like
it's just
somebody got hungry.
Yeah, it's very nice and beautiful, made of glass. I'm never, ever going to let this get out of my sight, ever. Oh, geez, okay, no.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Man, maybe that's why I've never won an award before. Let's do this.
Outrage Corner. That's outrageous. With English name.
You know what's outrageous?
What's that?
Just realizing that Eric Von Haessler has never won a radio award.
What kind of world is this?
Who has brought more entertainment on a daily basis to this rabble that's been called an audience? Why do they not stand up and demand this from the awards-giving people, yes.
Didn't you win a Creative Loafing Online award?
That doesn't count. That's a popularity award. I need an award that says, here, this thing's made of glass, and now I need a new one.
You could have gone and picked up your. They always give you when you win one of those Creative Loafing Awards. They give you something you can frame.
Certificate,
yeah. Well,
a
you gotta
fresh
go down-
loaf certificate.
Yeah.
You got to go down to the office and get one?
Well, they'll send it to you if you.
Yeah, you actually go to the award ceremony and get on stage.
Yeah, you got to drive, you got to park, you got to. That's too much.
It's like a ribbon that says Fresh Loaf on it.
Fresh loaf.
Fresh loaf.
The comedy stylings of Jared Yamamoto.
That's what they're called.
That's right. He'll be appearing at the Ha Ha Hut. 3 shows nightly.
Oh, it's a great new club in
Pleasant Hill
Midtown.
Road in Gwinnett County.
Are they really called the Fresh Loaf?
Yeah, it's a fresh loaf.
Creative Loafing still around as a newspaper, or is it just online?
Once a month, hard copy, and then the rest of the time it's online.
Rest of the time it's online.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. I don't want to go after
Where am I
them.
going to find my massage ads?
Creative Loafing online. Creative Loafing. See, they made their mistake with the Eric von Haessler early on because they couldn't handle. I was hippie enough, but they never put their arms around me because I'm kind of a hippie in most of my thing, but I believe in like low taxation. And they could never get their mind around a guy who's really into music and he's really has all these sort of hippie kind of tendencies, but he's libertarian and conservative fiscally, and they could never really quite understand it, so they never embraced me. But I never embraced them either.
And you went across the street to the competition at one point. You did a
because
podcast.
Jay Patrick Best ran the Sunday paper.
Yeah.
All papers are out of business except for the AJC. So if they would like me to say something nice about them, I will. We got to have at least one paper left in this country. This is just a paper. Are there any papers left that are just a paper where there's no online? Because it would be a stupid
I was
idea.
going to say Washington Post, but they have to be online.
No, they have to be online.
Yeah.
I mean, I read the Wall Street Journal every day online.
You have to be, don't you?
I don't really like it online, but I care about the trees.
There's that hippie. There's the hippie
That's the
coming out.
hippie part. You missed it, Creative Loafing. All right. I remember one year we lost to the Burt Show. Like, come on.
They always win the popular one.
Yeah, we make up stuff. And
All right, we got 2 fake people. They're going to pretend that they dated.
you know what we're going to do today? We're going to talk about relationships.
Yeah. So how was that date that you didn't really go on?
Yeah. How was that relationship? We're also going to do a lot of fun and games about relationships. All right, go ahead.
All right, so Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, is
By the way,
battling-
they're number one with dumb women all over the metro area.
Oh, yeah.
Boris Johnson's battling sexual allegations.
Oh, Boris Johnson.
Yeah. 20 years
You
ago.
got to let people know. Prime Minister of the country you were born in, England.
That's right.
And now there's a big back and forth about Brexit. He just wants a hard exit. He didn't give a damn what happens in Ireland. No backstop, no nothing. Nobody knows what to do. Do you know, this is like when your life is out of control and you know it, but you have a friend whose life is way more out of control, and you feel like you're buttoned down, like, oh, I haven't lost it as much as that guy. That's how America's politics are out of control, but England is so bad right now that we look and they go, okay, we're not that bad. Like, people vote to do one thing, the politicians can't figure out how to get it done. Everybody, so now what's happening over there is people coming out of the woodwork to say this Boris Johnson is a bad guy. And so what was this, a lady?
There was a reporter, Charlotte Edwards.
She says like 15 years ago or
20
something. 20 years ago.
Apparently he groped her leg under the table.
Now here's the thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but this Boris Johnson, man, it turns out he's quite the ladies' man.
I mean, if you punch into Google Boris Johnson and sex,
all
these like Boris Johnson will not deny an affair with businesswoman.
Yeah, he's had these affairs. He's a real playboy. He's had these affairs. I don't know. And his current girlfriend. I don't know if in 2019 is it misogynist for me to say that his current girlfriend is really good-looking,
No,
sexy,
that's not misogynist.
hot.
I think it's
No.
fine. On National Boyfriend Day, I think it's perfectly appropriate to judge
He's her
girlfriend.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
But he's from England, so it have to be international. It doesn't
that's a good
cover.
point.
It doesn't cover England.
Dang it.
Our little hashtag holiday.
British Boyfriend Day.
What about what she does for a living and her contributions to society instead of thinking about her looks?
Here's the thing. I don't know what those are, but I've seen her on TV and she's sexy. All right.
That's not her, right?
That's her safe word.
Yeah, I think before he got into 10 Downing Street as Prime Minister, there was a situation where the cops were called to their flat.
Yeah.
Because there was some kind of domestic disturbance going on.
Oh, do they have a Cops? Do they have a show like Cops in England?
I believe so, yeah.
Bobbies. The Bobbies. Like great when they show up and Boris Johnson's got like he's got no shirt on.
He didn't mean it, he didn't mean it, Constable. He loves me. He didn't mean it. Don't take him away. He's Prime Minister.
I want to take him. I'm going to take him.
No, don't take him. I love him. He didn't mean it.
They answer the door, evening. Oh.
Boris Johnson just going to rage in the background.
Oh, they have tired of this, lady. I'm sick and tired. I want to have a drink. I'll have a drink.
I pay the bills around here.
I pay the bill. What are you lot doing here, Constable? I'm the Prime Minister.
But he's had a little bit of power because before he went into politics, he was a publisher, right? I mean, he was a reporter of some kind.
I believe so.
I have a book in my house somewhere that's written. He wrote a biography of Winston Churchill that I have. But he's not. You look at guys like that, and some guys are they know how to play the game. A guy like Boris Johnson, if he was not the prime minister, and it's just a guy who lived in, Puddingham on Southshire somewhere, and
Romsey in Essex.
Yes, yeah. If he was just some mailman, what do you call the mailman over there?
Postman.
If he's just a postman, he's not going to be getting these. He's the lady he walks in number 10 Downing Street with. She's fascinating looking. You know what I want to know? California Justice Warrior. I see her, and what I want to know is what is her job, and what are her mental talents? So,
well, if only there was a place you could go and look. It's called Google. Why don't you look into it, buddy?
Don't be condescending with me, California.
I'm not being
social justice warrior.
This is how I sound all the time. God.
What is with that shaky voice with these people?
How dare you?
Lack of gluten.
How dare you?
What was it?
Oh, lack of gluten.
That's like Greta Thunberg. Sounds like the last scene from some famous 1940s movie.
How dare you?
You know what I mean?
Humphrey Bogart goes off in the back.
And she's oppressed through the whole movie, and then finally stands up to Humphrey Bogart.
How dare you?
The end. All right, good. Next hour.
Illinois elementary school have decided to cancel Halloween this year.
An elementary school in Illinois.
What the hell?
Now, does that mean it's canceled for the whole country? Because I would be happy with that. Because as an adult,
I know you don't.
I believe that Halloween is a children's holiday, and I enjoyed it when I was a child. I do not. The way adults have. Hey, you'll like this, social warrior. The way adults have appropriated this children's holiday makes me sick.
Halloween pub crawl, dude. Let's go.
No Halloween.
Wait a minute. There's appropriation going on.
Well, yeah, adults are appropriating a child's holiday.
I can't abide by appropriation.
Neither can I knew you and I could get on the same side with this. This is
I
a
can't
children's
because my
holiday.
girlfriend and I are going to a big Halloween party, and she's going to dress like sexy Catwoman.
How dare you?
Well, still, I mean, we'll all have fun. I mean, I'm going to objectify her all the time.
Your girlfriend is 4'9".
Yeah.
275 pounds.
So what? She could still be sexy.
She's sexy, Bat.
What are you trying to say? A lady with some extra weight on her can't be Catwoman?
Hold on. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Why?
But I'm not saying that all women can be sexy.
Sounds sexist to me.
No, all women are sexy in their way, and there's always somebody for somebody.
What do you mean by in their way?
What I mean is Batwoman is a real character.
Catwoman.
Well, now we have a new Batwoman coming, but Catwoman.
You have a problem with the new Batwoman because she's not cisgendered?
No. Hey, hold on. Don't drag me into controversy. We're talking about Catwoman here.
Why are you going after LGBTQ Batmans?
You missed a letter in there.
There's all sorts of letters in there. You get to eventually.
Catwoman, what I'm saying is Catwoman is a character.
Right.
And if you're going to look like her, you have to look like her. That's all. I'm not saying she's the ideal.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to tell Jared on the old Batman show, okay, they had a lady with dark hair, they had a lady with blonde hair, and then they also had African-American women.
Okay, let me just say this. It's like
that was Eartha Kitt.
It's like doing... It's like doing bad impressions. They're not impressions, right? Like
Tim Andrews would know that.
If I say, here's my Jack Nicholson.
Let's hear it.
Okay, and I say something like, I ordered a chicken sandwich.
Sounds just like him.
No, it doesn't.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
These are not good impressions. So it's not putting you down.
That's your truth. My truth is I sang him in my head.
Perhaps maybe identify your girlfriend with a different animal, like Elephant Woman or something like that.
Whoa!
The way that she's
now
fitting
that is sexist.
What's your boss's name? What's your boss's name? I need to know your boss's name.
Elephants are one of the smartest animals in the world.
First of all, there's no such superhero as Elephant Woman. It wouldn't matter if there were, because then you'd have to celebrate.
We can make one.
Listen to me. You send your cards and letters.
What's his boss's name?
To WSB or Pete Spriggs.
Pete, how do you spell it?
Spriggs.
I'm calling HR.
How hard is that?
Two
Pete Spriggs,
G's or Y?
Two.
And do I address him as Mr. or Zer?
You can just put
Zer, please.
And my two dads. My second program director is Drew Lufterhausen. And
so you have two dads?
I have two dads.
I sort of like you a little more.
My two dads.
That's pretty cool. New America. Deal with it, Jared, fat hater.
All complaints.
I'm not hating you.
Including,
Elephant Man.
You know, we have a bunch of people out there that are trying to start a thing between our show and Eric Erickson's show. Did you notice that yesterday?
I did.
We got to talk about that because that outrages me, English Nick. All right, you want to stick around for more than one reason. First of all, you're already listening and tuned into the best radio show in the history of history, but there's more. The Creole word, lagniappe. A little extra, a little something extra for you. A little added value is what they call it in the sales force.
Cherry on top.
Cherry on top. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to stick around in the next few minutes, top of the next hour. I am going to call the next name in our free gas giveaway. You hear your name, call back in 9 minutes and 55 seconds. You will get $500 in free gas. I can't call your name if I don't have your name. I'm not bugging. I'm not badgering. I'm just letting you know. WSBRadio.com, WSB Radio app. You got to sign up there, give us your name, and then listen for your name. All right, one more outrage, English Nick.
Did you want to talk about the Illinois elementary school a little bit more?
Oh, yeah. We never really got into why they canceled Halloween.
No candy. Costumes will be banned this year.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. I don't even have to read the story. And we can go after this, these schools, these elementaries, and political correctness, and blah, blah, blah. Blame the lawyers. I guarantee you in Illinois, you do not have at this school, you may have a few ideologues, but for the most part, it's, you know what, just let's not do it, and then we don't have to worry about it, and we won't get sued, and we won't have to deal with complaints, and because we live in a politically correct time, nobody's going to care about the, hey, you took a holiday away from my kids complaint. So it really is what it is. When lawyers make it difficult to move, what happens is people stop moving. And you just give, there are a lot less high school football programs in this country today than, say, 20, 25 years ago because there's just so many ways to get in trouble that it's better to not have to have the army of lawyers on retainer. You know what? We just don't have it. We just don't have that program. We don't do it. So everyone's going to beat up this elementary school, and it is kind of stupid. But in reality, I guarantee you, they just said, you know what? It's just not worth the headache. Yeah. Let's just get rid of it. We don't have to worry about somebody saying that costume's politically correct. We don't have to worry about Puritans saying that we're worshiping the devil. Let's just get rid of the headache. Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Aren't you lucky? I do a lot of thinking as I do my walking. We have a new security person here.
Yeah.
And it's always weird for the new security person because I had like 5,000 steps in before I started the show. And I want that to be the new slogan about me as a host. Always 5,000 steps ahead of the audience. So because it's so hot out, I'm doing so much of my walking here during the day in air conditioning because I like the air conditioning. But when I'm walking all over the place and then I do laps, 2 or 3 laps at a time, when there's a new security person there, just kind of freaked out. I had to stop and say, look, this may seem like odd behavior because they come in, they have monitors everywhere. You can't pick your nose in this building without somebody seeing you. So remember that, Tim Andrews.
I wouldn't care.
Everywhere you are.
Give them a show.
There are monitors. And so when new security people come in, they're looking at me walking in laps all over and they're, is he insane? Is he looking for something? What exactly is going on? So I have to let them know that. And as I've been walking around, a lot of times I do a lot of self-reflecting. You ever do that, Jared?
Of course.
Reflect upon yourself and your life and who you are and who you're not and where you fit in. And I realized something. I don't know if this is a good thing or if it's a bad thing. But what I've begun to realize, apropos to nothing, is that I am not a kid at heart. You know how they say, well, we're all kids at heart. It turns out I'm an adult at heart. And I think I'm going to embrace that. We were just talking about I'm supposed to feel bad because I don't like Halloween. Because
you should feel
I
bad.
think it's a child.
It's the best holiday in the world.
I loved it when I was a child. But to me, it's a children's holiday. And so I'm going to step out on a limb here and proclaim myself an adult at heart. And I'm very proud of that. I have no problem looking, thinking, and acting like an adult. And hey, here's good news. Justin Bearden from Stone Mountain just won himself, I'm assuming Justin is a guy, I apologize if I'm wrong, has just won himself $500 in free gas from 95.5 WSB. Knock it off with the frown. You can win too, but you got to register at WSBradio.com or on the WSB Radio app. Listen at 4 o'clock today to the other white Eric Erickson. And if you got your name in there, listen for your name. If you call back within 9 minutes and 55 seconds, you, just like Justin Bearden from Stone Mountain, will walk away with $500 in free gas. You have your hand raised, which I think is very, very nice of you. So I'm going to call on you.
Well, we're already on a streak, Eric. We had an 8 a.m. winner, now a 10 a.m. winner. So at 4 o'clock, you better be listening. So that way you keep that streak going.
All right, folks.
Clive Cliverson will be very pleased.
Yeah, it would be great to have 3 in one day.
Let's keep a streak alive.
Yeah, let's put them all in, and then get them all to promo.
Just a guy on the radio is just going to puke my thoughts at you. Come on now. All right, let's do this.
More headlines for Thursday, October 3rd.
All right, pull it back. Pull it back. I forgot we were supposed to do open mics.
Yeah, you just don't care. You don't care about open mic anymore. Open mic gets left
I feel
alone.
really left alone and lonely these days.
That moment.
What?
In between a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be family friendly here. Between two people who are together, and the things that they do when they're together when no one's looking.
Fight.
And, I'm not talking about your marriage, Tim Andrews. I'm talking about
no. I'm doing a voice. Get out of here.
He gets so defensive.
Well, yeah, because I'm doing a
so
voice.
Defensive. All right. So,
open mic.
I would like to know if that moment of no return, in those moments when you're together, I wonder if he sounds a little bit like that. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's over.
All right, open mic. It's over. I like that. It should be like that, like just a final proclamation. It is over.
I haven't been here in a while, and I'm so open with all of you, but none of you have asked me how I've been doing.
Are you open mic? You asking me open mic how you doing?
Yeah.
That's because you're a machine. You're not a person. I don't care how you're doing.
Well, my partner and I are having issues.
Have you called the open mic to vent your spleen?
No, I want you to know that I'm still here and available because I am also an adult at heart.
That's right, and you are a professional, are you not?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you work out your issues very soon.
He's very full, too.
I just want everyone to know that I never get too full.
There's always room for one more opinion or question or statement.
One anything.
I'm
20.
I'm bringing this one into my own life. The end of sex declaration. It is over.
Cease.
There will be no more of this for hours to come.
Reclad yourself.
Or days or weeks, depending upon how we're all getting along. All right, reclad yourself. Reclad yourself.
Cab fare on the coffee table.
Put your clothes on, you dirty, filthy. All right.
So all of these open mics.
It goes from like wonderfulness to suddenly feeling filthy. How does that happen so
embarrassment.
fast? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with me, it's always embarrassment. I don't know about other people.
Mixed in with guilt for something. I don't even know what. All right, go ahead.
These are all open mics from the WSB Radio app where you can sign up for that free gas you were mentioning, Eric.
Yeah.
Eric von Haessler.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that you love Christmas, and Christmas is a children's holiday. So, are you appropriating Christmas? Same thing. So, get off your high horse, will you?
How dare you?
I will say this. Christmas, like all holidays, are more fun for children. But Christmas, I consider a family holiday. A clan, C, not K, a clannish holiday where the family all gets together. Now, like Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving and Christmas are a little more fun for the kids because they can't sense all the tension between the aunts, uncles, and older cousins.
They're not sitting at the table.
They're not sitting. Yeah, they're just having fun, running around, eating more nectarines than they would on any other day. You don't have nectarines?
No, we don't. That's not a
Big
Thanksgiving
part of my
tradition.
Thanksgiving tradition.
We have a nectarine pie. We stuff the nectarine with other nectarines.
I didn't mean, it's a nectarchy. So it's a nectarine stuffed with a nectarine with a beer can inside it. So, tangerines, that's what I meant. Tangerines were always a big part of our Thanksgiving, and I loved them as a kid. Now, Halloween in America, I say, is a children's holiday. You're dressing up. You're pretending to be a monster or something. You're dressing up. Now, if you go to like All Hallows, if you go to the Spanish traditions with it, like Day of the Dead and all that kind of stuff, yeah, that gets adult-like. But that's not like our Halloween. For those ceremonies, you got to show up with like like a dead goat or something. And I mean, those are real adult. These are real
Trick or treat.
adult things. Whereas I said Spanish.
Well, I used a Spanish accent. That could be any country south of Florida. I didn't pick one.
What about Spain?
They have that sound too. Maybe more Italian.
There you go. Another open mic.
Wait, before you go on, I got a question.
Yeah, are you questioning me?
Yes.
How dare you?
Good.
I forgot.
All right, that's why.
Tim Andrews, you're on fire today, my friend. I'm laughing a lot.
He was on fire till he forgot his question.
I really did have an important thing to ask, and then...
Don't you hate when people go, well, it couldn't have been that important?
Yeah.
By the way, it couldn't have been that important.
Here's one
I
more.
forget. I'm radioactive.
Here's one more open mic.
Eric, let me tell you how I feel about this impeachment stuff.
All right.
It's kind of like when you got to go for a colonoscopy. They give you all this nasty stuff you got to drink, and it takes a long time to drink it, but you got to suck it down, and you just got to bite the bullet and do it. When you finally get it all down, all the rumbling and everything happens, and you know the worst is about to come. That's the way I feel about this impeachment. I'm watching, listening, knowing the worst is yet to come.
Colonoscopy, I would say the good thing in comparison to impeachment inquiry is you know when it's going to end. Yeah, it's a bad couple of days.
And you get to sleep through it.
You can sleep. You get to be half awake, half asleep, kind of daze thing. And, yeah, you know when it's going to end. This thing, I think it's going to end by December just because it's a political deal and they want to get it. It's calculated to hurt the president going into next year. I don't think it helps the Democrats to continually have this thing going on. But by the time you get to Iowa caucuses and things like that, so it'll just be a couple of months. But I choose to basically ignore most of it. I'll read about it, but it's great. I'm finding other things to do in the afternoon besides sit on my hiney and watch news and the sports shows. I'm not watching the sports shows either.
What are you doing?
I'm actually moving my body around. And
what are you, like planting a garden or something?
Nah, not that far, not yet. But I'm cleaning up the house a bit. My wife was away, and then she came back. I wanted the house to be nice and clean. But nobody likes to return from a long trip.
Was she
to
surprised
a
and
crappy
happy?
House? She was surprised. No, because I'm her husband, and I'm a good husband. I keep things clean. Look, first of all, alone in a house. I don't live in any kind of like McMansion or anything, but I mean, there's a few floors there. And when you're alone and you're 55 for 14 days. How much is there to mess up? I'm not just gonna run through every room and just start knocking things over. But basically, there's the living room, and there's the bedroom, and there's the bathroom. I'm not really in any other room.
If you were a child at heart, yes, you would mess those things up. But you did admit
I'm in the kitchen. Right?
But you did admit that you're an adult at heart now. So I guess that makes sense.
I didn't admit because I'm proclaiming, much like I end my sessions of love. This is over.
Hey, I remembered that thing I forgot.
It's too late. Let's do this. Come on, Alan.
More headlines for Thursday, October 3rd.
I probably missed an open mic, but we'll get to it later.
No, it's fine.
Hold on to that thought, Andrews. This is a test.
What thought?
But you're not allowed to jot it down.
A Polish scientist warns guys that humans need to move to Mars before it's too late.
All right, let's go. I got an old station wagon. People talk about moving to Mars and moving around the solar system. Like, all we got to do is just make a decision.
Hey, I'm going to go to Europa.
Yeah, this guy's like, we got to diversify.
Yeah.
We can't put all of our eggs in one bucket.
Got to be worried about solar flares, asteroids, and all kinds of things that could wipe out the Earth.
Yeah, I got news for you. You're going to die anyway. Relax. Yeah, this whole thing about whether Halloween is an adult holiday or a child's holiday. I promise you, I had no idea I would be talking about this. I promise you, you're not listening to a radio show where we had a meeting and we said, let's set it up so some people will think I'm right and they'll disagree with Eric and we'll have a whole... This just happened. Halloween is a child's holiday. Now, you can agree with that or you can be wrong. Now, Jared Yamamoto here, he's got this, the Power Pad.
Power Pod.
Excuse me?
The Power Pod. New episode just came out today, by the way.
Yeah, Power Pad. He has a podcast.
Episode 25.
Yeah, 25 in.
How about that?
That's pretty good. You haven't been shut down yet.
Not yet.
And he said, well, we're going to have a special Halloween. What I thought, because I try to mentor the kids with their broadcasting, and what I always say is, if you want to stand out, do exactly the same thing everyone else is doing. So if you have a show and it's Halloween, yeah, do a Halloween show. What are you doing on your Halloween show?
Well, we're going to be taping on October 30th.
I don't care. Just tell me what you're doing on
So
your
we're going to have a murder mystery corner because one of our...
Murder mystery. So you think murder is funny?
No, we don't think it's funny.
You think murder is entertaining?
It is entertaining.
You find it hilarious.
Fascinating, especially during Halloween.
So you think murder is a hilarious topic for you to? Okay, look, I'm just if that's
not every other show, but for Halloween, it's very appropriate. We're gonna open up the phone lines and let people weigh in on it too.
What are they gonna weigh in on?
Hey, Eric, murder's really big these days. You got the ID channel, all the people, killing people. They have series.
Yeah, the murder porn,
dangerous neighbors. And...
Sometimes I get lost in that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sometimes on Saturdays I'll just lay in bed all day long and watch TV like an old lady.
Oh yeah.
Just have one full day off. And I get sucked into these holes where it's just like it's 1 hour after another about some husband who killed his wife. And the people are found like that Scott Peterson, and then the other Peterson who was a cop who killed the one before, and then they go through all these stories, and you end up being fascinated. And like 4 hours in, it's just all murder.
I like
porn.
women who kill.
Yeah, what's that?
They get the real sort of sexy female killer lady.
Yeah. I've done those as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so my wife will walk up from time to time, and then like 3 or 4 hours in, she'll realize I've been watching nothing but shows about guys who killed their wives, and I say, honey, Don't worry, honey. They all get caught. If there's one thing I'm learning here, they all get caught. All right. One of my two dads, my program director, Pete Spriggs, is here.
Hey, congratulations on your award.
On the award that I'm trying to steal off of, not really stealing. I went through all these
Georgia
awards.
Association of Broadcasters.
I've never won an award in my life.
I heard that on the air. Somebody talked about that on the radio all morning.
I'm looking to be... That's why he's such a good program director. He doesn't really give me notes. He just gets really super sarcastic.
Oh, I love it.
And I know where he's going, okay. So I wanted to take an award in my office because I've never had an award before. This one is Best Team Political Coverage Election Night 2018. I was on that night, so I assume I can steal this award. And you've told me you're okay with it. I just have to clear it with one other person. Who else?
Well, I said, I was trying to keep this secret, but now we're on the air. So now Bill Crane's going to want one.
Right.
I said Chris Chandler.
Jamie
Dupree probably wants one in Washington. He's streaming us right now.
Jamie Dupree's probably got 900 awards in
now
his
that
office.
You've put this on the air, we're probably going to have a big fight between about 6 or 8 people.
You know how news people are. Petty as could be. All right, I'm going to run it by Chris Chandler. If Chris Chandler, can we order more?
You've never won an award?
I've never won an award in my life. I've never won a prize. One time when I was 5 years old, I still remember this.
It was a science fair thing? You were excellent at the science fair?
No, this was the normal Ohio fair. And I was like 5 years old. And I guessed closest to how many somethings were in a jar. And then what I got, this is the only thing I ever got, was I got a jar full of pennies. Huge huge jar full of pennies. That's the only thing I've ever won
pretty cool.
in my life, except I was 5 and we were really poor. I never saw that jar full of pennies again.
That's
no,
terrible.
it all went to cigarette money from my parents.
Seriously, when you're young and you win an award, I think everybody can relate to that. You win something like that when you're 5 years old. That is big.
Yeah, and obviously it was random.
And you never got a penny of it,
I
literally.
did not get a penny. They bought me nothing. But I'll tell you what, the adults didn't go without their cigarettes. I'm still angry about it. Yes, this is why I'm very against awards. Yes.
I suggest that, and I'm bringing this up while one of our bosses is here, Pete Spriggs.
Yeah.
That we do.
The other boss, Drew Lutenstrufel, is not here.
We do the Doctrine Radio Award Show. All the awards are given to the head of the Von Haessler Doctrine, and we call them the Vonnies.
No, yeah, that's right. Well, we had the Vonnies one year in the Thanksgiving special.
Our New Year's special.
Was it a New Year's special?
Yeah.
We had the Vonnies, but I gave them out.
Yeah, but you should win all of them.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what we do. We create an award show where no one wins but me, and we'll nominate everybody that we've almost put out of business, and then I win.
Yeah.
So here, this is what we're going to do. This is on-air planning.
Yeah.
So let's do it, and we'll have celebrities present the awards, just like an award ceremony. We'll have everybody from...
Oh, you're trying to get Tim Andrews involved.
And Autumn as well.
Yeah, well, she's not here today. Do you listen to the show?
Our listeners would love to hear this.
This is what it's going to sound like. In the category for Best Show in Atlanta, the nominees are The Burt Show, that weird thing that used to be the regular guy's show, the Von Haessler Doctrine, and the winner is... the Von Haessler Doctrine.
Yay!
And I win so many times that I decide to wear a bunch of T-shirts with different messages on them. So every time I go up to the podium, I get a different political message out there. Is that my idea? All right, Pete Spriggs.
When can we do this? When?
We'll do it.
How about this? We'll do it on Halloween, October 31st.
Perfect.
We're going to have the awards on the air, and it's going to be the Vonnie Awards.
All right, but it must be very adult because I think of the Halloween as an adult celebration.
Well,
Don't get me going.
You're weird.
Don't get me going. I'm weird? You hired me. That makes you weirder. Let's do this.
Trick or treat.
Live from the Conspiracy News Desk in Midtown Atlanta, here's Tim Andrews.
Tim Andrews.
That's me.
Pete did want to say you did win an award here at WSB.
What was that?
The Matt Award. You won a Matt Award.
Oh, that's right. I got $100.
Making a difference, Eric.
They gave me an award. Tim Andrews is shaking his head.
Yeah, they give the rich guy the award.
Because he's never gotten a Matt Award.
Nominated.
The Matt Award, before we get to the conspiracy desk here, now you've opened this up.
That's the conspiracy.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the conspiracy desk. The Matt Awards is something we do around here. What's it called? It's for mutually assured destruction, right? MAD?
It's making a difference.
Oh, okay. I got two of them. I got them
easy to get them confused.
Absolutely. So making a difference, and what happens here at WSB is any kind of boss, so any mid-level type, can nominate someone who works for them because they went above and beyond. They did more than they had to make sure that the quality, the product on the air and behind the scenes, and then you get a mutually assured making a difference award.
Yes,
and you get $100 crisp $100 bill
and a medallion. A medallion.
Your picture is taken, and I won once. And the thing I won for, I thought hilarious. I actually agreed to go to a VIP night in a suite, a catered suite, for clients at the Atlanta Hawks. I thought, wow, I just won $100 to go to a Hawks game and eat free food and talk to nice people. That's not bad. Tim Andrews is upset because how long have you been here officially?
Since 2015. So
I mean, you were
4
living
years.
out of your car and partially out of here for a while.
True.
That doesn't count. But
yeah, I was making pizzas.
Yeah. So in all that time, this Tim Andrews has never been nominated, and I guess I would have to nominate him. I would have to nominate him. What do you? You have 9.
That's how many I've won.
You've won 9.
9.
Because
see, this is the conspiracy.
He sticks around and he networks. You do your thing. You're very good at what you do. But boom, once time's up, you're out of here. He plays golf with everybody. Listen, he knows how to network and get his stuff out there.
No, I just realized what these are.
I don't need it. I just signed a $35 million a year contract. I don't need it.
Wow, another one.
Yeah,
Nice.
they decided to get ahead of the game.
Cheap bonuses for mid-level people. That's what these are.
Oh,
wow.
I like this. Rationalizing.
Yeah.
You're above it.
Yeah.
That's why
I don't
you're not
need
getting
one. I don't look.
It's probably my fault.
A tweet from a listener saying, "Hey, you made me laugh today."
Yeah.
That's more than an award. That's more than $100 I could use to buy drugs.
That's true. Yeah, it's not fungible like $100.
Right.
You can't really do anything
I mean,
with
invest.
it. Yeah. In drugs?
Yeah.
He likes that dopamine that he gets from that.
I like dope.
Hey, I like dope. All
Just kidding. I don't like dope.
Oh, now you got to apologize your way out of humor.
Yeah.
Is that what 2019 has done to us?
Yes.
Hey, just assume this, people. Everything we're saying is BS. Then
My
roll with it.
cousin did dope in the 70s. This upsets me.
At least I'm not celebrating murder like the power pad. All right, now what? What?
Hey, the 10 best murders for millennials.
You know it's going to be a good listen. That's going to be out October 31st, Halloween. Halloween special.
This guy's, what do they call that when you're moonlighting?
Yeah.
He's got another show. He's more worried about that. You know what I found out? I didn't even know because I don't listen back to the shows. I can't listen to the shows. I do it by gut, and I just have to keep on moving. I'm like a shark. To stay alive, I have to keep on moving. And somebody told me, he does listen to the shows, he sneaks in little commercials for the power pad into our...
Radio Labyrinth.
More power pad. Power pad or pod gets mentioned way more than
Power Pod is a WSB
Radio
product.
Because
Labyrinth.
he's made his own. Oh, the power pad is a WSB product.
Ooh, stay tuned.
Oh, hey. So I shouldn't you ask me? Should I get money for this?
I think so.
I mean, you may look at me and say, Eric, you just signed a $35 trillion a year contract.
Still your house, and he's renting space in it.
That's
He should
right.
pay for it.
I get a few cents. I can give more to charity.
It's to say who's usually the last one to leave the station.
Yeah. When people say to me, Eric, you're doing fine. You just signed a $35 trillion a year contract.
You could pay off the budget.
I have to point out, 10% of that goes to my agent. So I don't go home with all of that. Yes.
Why wouldn't you pay off the national debt?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't give it. Why should I? Nobody else wants to do anything.
Because you make a lot of money, and there's no reason for trillionaires to exist.
All you got is all of these people, constituents. I let the government. This is what I don't understand. This is something I don't understand. The left in general, they hate Donald Trump. Hate him. Absolutely hate him. I mean, I understand
for good reason.
I understand about what his personality is, and right. They think he's evil, and they hate him. But he is the most powerful person in the government, right? So why? If you were on the left, I'm a libertarian. I believe in limited government. Limited government. So I don't understand this thing in people's brains on the left. We hate this president. We think he's evil. And at the same time, they want to turn over more and more of their lives to the federal government. Do they think this is a one-off? Oh, yeah, well, we got one president we hate. Surely that will never happen again. Have you noticed that almost all politicians are weird and creepy?
What are you talking about, buddy?
Handsy? They touch people?
Hey, I'm just friendly.
And it's just a weird thing for me. It's a weird dynamic that the same people who absolutely hate the President of the United States absolutely want to turn more and more of the governance of their lives over to the government. Oh, I don't know what to do about vaping, but the TV screen tells me it's bad. And then within 4 days, the stories of the people, well, I don't know why they're not doing something about it. The government, we need to have the government tell us what to do and what not to do. I don't trust that guy at the top, but I need to be turning over more of my life to the government. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, sure, they can ban vaping, but they're not doing anything about guns.
Yeah, you got to hear that. And then you got to educate people. Vaping's not in the Constitution.
What?
It's not? If smoking was in the Constitution, you wouldn't be able to have these laws. What are you looking it up? You can trust me. There's no vaping in there. The technology didn't exist. No.
Oh, I thought Washington was a jewel guy.
No smoking. Yeah, Washington was.
Well, let me tell you what Washington did. Instead of smoking cigars and what they had rudimentary cigarettes back then, they would boil water and put the tobacco in it, then breathe the steam. That was early vaping, so you don't know what you're talking about, Eric Von Haessler.
Thank you, Sean Hannity.
I have a new conspiracy theory, which is that Eric Von Haessler is just going to do anything he can not to actually get a conspiracy onto the conspiracy desk.
Oh.
But
well, if you want a tweet, I've got one.
I got this. I want people to know that we do have the open mic line, but we also have, this is new, We call it the apropos to nothing line, and we got this one.
And they actually encourage you to fart loud and proud afterwards, and they give you a carbonated beverage to go along.
That from our apropos to nothing line. All right, give me a conspiracy.
Okay, so this first conspiracy comes from Business Insider, and they said that they, being Business Insider, fact-checked 5...
Are they actually inside business?
They are. They are inside business. It's unbelievable how they're able to do this.
Do they get passed through the business?
They go right through security.
Yeah.
Right through it. So Business Insider fact-checked 5 popular conspiracy theories about tech companies.
Yeah.
From Apple making iPhones obsolete to Facebook secretly activating your microphone. And then this is where Tim Andrews takes over.
All right. So
what do they find?
What he said? Well, he's a millennial, and their headlines are paragraphs.
Yes.
So you don't have to actually read the story.
All these things, especially when it comes to Apple and Facebook and stuff like that, they have these weird conspiracies around.
Of course, because they're big, and anything big is going to get theories.
And I'll tell you about the Apple one, the Battery Gate one.
Oh, Battery Gate.
Oh, boy, when we come back.
Great tease.
And they actually encourage you to fart loud and proud afterwards, and they give you a carbonated beverage to go along.
Eric Von Haessler. Hey, come on. Let's not hurt each other. The only thing we should ever be massacring is Pete Buttigieg, Booty Judge? You know, that guy's name. The Von Haessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB.
I just learned something new about my Apple Pencil. It's not orifice friendly. You were explaining something. What? I was trying to put it in my ear. What are you guys thinking about? I was using it to itch my ear.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
I know you get me.
Yeah. There's a lot of conspiracy surrounding Apple whenever they release a new product like the iPhone 11, which came out with the 3 camera. The theory is that Apple throttles usage for the earlier model phones.
Oh, yeah.
Such as the battery dying. Well, if you have anything with a battery in it, like an iPhone, and you have it for a couple of years, the battery is going to wear down. Apple does not throttle down their products.
But now they used to have a thing with batteries that they did.
But they addressed it.
They addressed it, but actually even when they were doing it, it was something good for the consumer from their point of view. What they realized is at a certain point in the life of your iPhone battery, it actually charging up to a certain point is bad for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use it as much from that given window, it will last longer.
Right.
So they were pulling back battery usage so that your battery actually would last longer.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, "Oh, you're just doing that so we'll buy the new iPhone."
Yeah. Coming from someone who lives in the walled garden of Apple, I don't know if I believe you.
I do.
Yeah, I know.
A man has to go somewhere. There's only one place in this world that is totally free of pornography, and that is Apple's walled garden. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. You know, I'm in one of those tours. What do you think? Somewhere between, they're all between 1st and 5th grade, right?
Yeah.
A tour of the radio station. And we always wave through the window because they want the kids to feel like, the guy in the air, he knows they're here. And I always, there's this little temptation I have whenever it's young kids that are touring. I just run out there real fast and go, "Hey, kids, by the way, that whole climate change thing, don't worry about it. You're not going to die. You're not going to drown. You will die, but you'll die and the planet's going to go on. Just smile and enjoy yourselves. Stop being so worried about everything." You got any other business? You got any open mics or anything I have to get rid of before I point my finger?
I have
at
one
Alan?
tweet for you.
Because once I point my finger at Alan, it's over. Watch the power I have. Watch. And I point my finger to Alan and...
Even more headlines for Thursday.
Pull it back. That was merely a test.
I have one tweet for you. Daddy Mojo tweets. He says, "Just got off work, thus tuning in now. What award was won?"
Well, you see how people listen to radio. Eric Von Haessler has been awarded the greatest radio host in the history of history. Parenthetically, this covers everything before radio was invented, as well as everything after radio was invented. Eric Von Haessler, this is my award. It's from the Gabbies, the Gabby Award. Greatest human being of all time.
I'm going to send out a press release right now. Greatest radio host in the history.
Greatest human being.
Oh.
In the history of history. And now I'll point my finger and we'll prove why.
Even more headlines for Thursday, October 3rd.
You know what the thing is for me? I'm so humble that it's hard for me to accept something like that. I really do. I have my feet on the ground. What are you typing a novel over there? What are you doing?
I am releasing.
Did you not have your? He's doing our social media work for us.
Yes.
Needs to be done, Eric.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Clive is always encouring me
People are
to
yelling at me.
Make sure that our social fam is happy.
Yeah, you got you and Tim and a lot of they interact with the people.
I don't care as long as I'm not involved.
Well, they say good things about you. I want you to know that.
I'm trying to figure out how to actually get my Facebook off of the internet, and we're working.
Good
on
luck.
That. Well, no, I mean, at least it's not seeable. I'm not using it. See, I realized when I walked away from social media, the Twitter account I had shut down. But I didn't. The Facebook thing, I was like, well, I still do. There are some friends and stuff, and I didn't shut it down. But then again, I never go there and check it. So it started to occur to me that people could, they could like throw comments on there that are really incendiary or racist or something. And if I didn't go there for months to see what was on there, then somebody else might say, "Who's this Eric Von Haessler?" Go to the page and see that.
Why don't you make Jared the admin for the
That's
fan
what we're gonna
page,
do.
And then you can just delete it.
That's what we're going to do. But first I have to go in. I have some photos on there that I don't have any, like from childhood, that I don't have anywhere else. I got to make sure I get those
You
off
can
there.
download your entire Facebook profile and then go through it at your leisure.
Oh, at my leisure.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
serious.
that.
They will. They'll send you every picture you ever posted, and it'll all be in one huge file. So once you have that saved to your hard drive, you can delete it.
Very nice. Okay, I'm learning. I'm learning as we go. What headlines you got for me?
President Trump's reaction to Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff's press conference yesterday.
Ridiculous bullshit.
There you have it. That's exactly what he said, except he said it in a tweet this time around.
Yeah, he's swearing in his tweets this morning.
Well, it is. It is what it is. It's all a bunch of that. It's complete
Do you
nonsense.
travel with that? That goes with you everywhere you
I
go?
have to have a beeper with me constantly. Not the old beeper because I have a cell phone. But a beep. Go ahead.
It's all...
Well, that's how... And this is nothing but ridiculous.
No, hold on. You're not bleeping ridiculous. You get a better bleep
He's a little
guy.
beep happy, this
he's
Chad.
yeah.
Little beep happy.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay, he's young.
Try it again.
All right.
We have to hear the word bull.
This story is nothing but incredible bull.
There you go.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. He's close.
Bring back Snacky. I'm tired of this crap.
Hey, we haven't had Snacky. We'll bring Snacky back. We're going to have Snacky for a while.
Hey, I didn't say that. The president did.
I know. I get it. You weren't lobbying for more airtime.
No.
No, it was the president loves Snacky, the character. Is Snacky still there? Snacky ready to go at any time?
I'm right here whenever you need me, guys. All right here. Oh!
Snacky?
I know you got big, important stories, but let's not forget the Teal Pumpkin Project.
Hold on a second. This is a teal. Yeah. See, let me tell people, Snacky is here to bring us innocuous kicker stories that are in the news. Snackable content.
It's good news time with
to relieve us
Snacky
from all this heavy impeachment talk.
So the Teal Pumpkin Project is one of the happiest stories out there right now.
Yeah.
It raises awareness of food allergies through the addition of non-food trinkets and toys to your treats. Give a kid a little toy for Halloween. You gotta give him candy.
Yeah.
What if you gave
I think
a
that's
child...
horrible. How do you give a child wants candy?
Well, you give a child a payday and he doesn't know he's allergic to peanuts. Next thing you know, you got a pumpkin on your front stoop.
Snacky, were you ever a child?
Oh, I'm still a child.
You're a kid at heart.
I'm a kid at heart. I got all sorts of good stories.
You wanted candy when you went out for Halloween.
How about
you want a toy?
How about the best times to go trick-or-treating?
How about we get back to that later?
No, it's great news.
No, we can only handle so much snackable content, Snacky.
Snacky, put the flask down, okay?
Snacky is. You can smell him from a mile away.
Snacky's always happy.
Snacky's got his go-go juice.
That seems like artificial happiness, if you ask me.
I got a lot of juice.
All right. Hey, also, before you get to your next story, you know what? I just saw something I can't... Is this true that Phil Collins fell down on stage?
When he was in Charlotte, yes.
So even though I didn't know so much about this. So Phil Collins is 68 years old. And he's, because of the posture that he adopted as a drummer throughout his life, He's ruined his back, and I guess that has ruined his legs. So he comes out on stage, and he's got a cane. I'm sure it's one of those fancy hurricanes, not one of those old man canes of the old days. I'm sure it's one of those fancy hurricanes that helps you pick up the chicks.
Giant
at the
diamond
beach.
on the top.
Oh, yeah. But he sits in a swivel chair the whole concert. Did you know this? He sits in a swivel chair. And then when he gets up and walks, he walks on his cane. And he went to get the chair to sit back down, and the chair moved. And he fell. And the crowd was like, and I was trying to get that audio very quickly. It's going to take me some time because all I could find was a TMZ story. And you can't, they do have the moment where he falls and the crowd responds, but it's all cluttered up with all that TMZ, like the stupid reporter telling you, till college, he's 68, and she has no idea.
He's 68 years old.
And, oh, wow, the crowd I can't get that out of this.
Like when the camera zooms in and zooms out.
That show's impossible to watch.
TMZ is really the only thing on this planet that makes me look at Hollywood celebrities every once in a while and think, oh, I feel sorry for that guy, man. Look at the way they're treating that guy, because you can't win with TMZ.
No, they come up to him at the airport.
And if they ask you an uncomfortable question and you get angry or whatever, you're giving them what they want. You can't win. If you try to play along, they mock the fact that you're trying to play along. I mean, you absolutely. Now, these celebrities are some of the most unlikable people in the world. It's only TMZ's coverage of them that every once in a while makes me feel sorry for them. You ought to be able to go eat. But if I was a famous actor who made millions of dollars a year for pretending to be somebody else, what I would do is I would build a wall about, say 20 feet high around my mansion, and I would hire
a guy who could help with that.
a personal chef. And I'd own like 20 acres.
So you'd be
somewhere.
Johnny Carson the last 10 years of his life. Just die.
Well, no, I'd do it without the smoking and the dying.
Oh, okay.
But I would have all my friends, and then you don't have to worry about anything. You got a chef. You can have whatever. You can do. Why go out and deal with the TMZ
what about the
stuff?
latest pop-up restaurant in L.A.? You're going to want to go there.
Oh, my friends.
Try the tacos.
My friends will give me a report on how good the tacos were in the Sex and the City pop-up lounge over in La Brea.
Eric Von Haessler doesn't want to deal with reality.
Yeah, TMZ is unwatchable for me, but it's been on forever. So
he's locked up in his own house.
Yeah, they'll be out there. They'll be out there doing their thing. So what do you think? Guys that you never hear about, that's what they do, right? Tom Hanks, he's off doing all his Hollywood drugs. He just doesn't go out and do them.
Oh, he's always out riding his bike because he takes pictures of lost items like a glove or a sock.
Yeah.
And then that's his whole Instagram. Missing things.
You follow Tom Hanks
No,
on
I didn't
Instagram.
follow him. I don't care about somebody's mitten.
See, Tim's more of a Miley Cyrus follower. He likes.
You gotta follow her.
I sure like. Yeah,
she tosses up a good photo here.
There's always missing things in her picture.
You know what I respect about her? Her mind.
Yeah, she's a genius.
It's not those butt cheeks she's throwing out on display. It's her mind, her creativity, and her obvious empowerment as a woman. That's what turns me on. I don't know what you people are looking at.
I like women who have too many teeth.
She has one too many.
No, she has three too many.
She's three too many?
Oh, God, yeah. They're all jammed in there.
Makes her unique. What's wrong with that? You got a problem with that?
Hey, y'all.
Little shark teeth?
Yeah.
Haven't you seen the thong bikini? I think I was looking at
I can't get to the thong bikini. I'm looking at those teeth.
How are you doing? I'm on a wrecking ball, y'all, and I'm naked.
I can't get past the teeth.
You're talking in terms of physical, whereas when I look at a Miley Cyrus in a string bikini, sort of a thong thing with her cheeks quite on display, I'm thinking of her mind, her creativity, and her obvious empowerment as a woman. So I guess I'm just better than you guys.
You're better than me because I'm thinking, with all that money she has, she could go to a tattoo artist who doesn't look like he works in a prison. Because those are some tattoos.
You want to get into some real trouble?
What?
What tattoo artist doesn't look like they've been to prison?
No. Her tattoos look like prison tats.
Yeah, but those are better, don't you? I think it's better. I'm not a fan of tattoos. but especially on women. I'm sorry if I'm wrong or whatever. I like skin. I think that's pretty. I think women have pretty skin. I don't want to mar it up and look like a biker. I don't understand that. But at least there's more originality to the, get drunk and just put ink on the end of a pen and do it yourself kind of.
Here's a scribble in my cleavage, y'all.
But that stuff that people get sleeves of,
the sleeves,
it
yeah.
all looks the same. It's like that. Whoever did the Meatloaf album art, it all looks like that. Let that play out. I'm swimming in this right now. All right, we have found the Phil Collins. We were able to pull the TMZ people out of the Phil Collins stuff. So Phil Collins, 68 years old. He's touring. I hope he's doing it for the love of touring because he's sitting on a swivel chair and using a cane. I hope he's not broke or something. I hope he's doing it just because he loves sharing his music. So he sits on a swivel chair because he can't stand the whole time. And which I think, sometimes you have to know when to walk away from the game. Certainly I hope Tom Brady doesn't get ideas from this. I can play 3 more years. I'll just sit in a swivel chair in the pocket.
Good enough offensive line, he'll handle it. Has wheels on it.
Because if Tom Brady in a swivel chair starts beating the rest of us, we're really going to feel humiliated. So the moment is he goes back. His son is drumming. It sounds like In the Air Tonight. And he goes to get the chair. This has happened to all of us from time to time. And the chair, he sits in it, and then it just slowly falls over. But he can't jump back up. And you hear the crowd. They're shocked. Fell over. Like all right. I just hope he's okay. I'm not going to make jokes about it, but I do hope he's okay. But that's always funny looking when you miss the chair. I don't care how old you are. It's happened to all of us. I don't think being 68 really has a lot to do with this. The chair is a swivel chair. He sat in it. He leaned back. There's that moment when you're leaning back in a chair and it starts to go, and there's that moment where no, there's nothing I can do about this. Like gravity starts to defeat you, and and then you just you pull your arms in and you just wait for the fall. You know it's going to happen. I just hope Phil Collins is out there doing a show with a cane and a swivel chair because he loves music, not because he needs the money. You know what? It's funny. There's some people just can't get over the fact that this show is different than other shows. To me, I think that's a great thing. I think you have a lineup of shows, and you pick the ones you like. We're doing quite well, thank you. And you like them or you don't like them, whatever, but they're different. There's one show on this station that, a weekday show, let's say, that doesn't take calls. This one. It's one show. But there are people out there who just cannot deal with it. I just they're not doing it right. There's the talk radio. You're not doing it right. So this guy's been hounding us on social media for a couple of days.
It's been weeks that he's been doing this.
And he's like, can't handle the fact that this show doesn't take calls.
You want to hear the latest from him?
What's his latest missive?
All right, he says, it's just funny that every other talk show on the radio takes callers. Literally every other talk show on the radio.
Agreed.
He just doesn't take calls because he don't want people telling him what a ridiculous idiot he is. The same reason he doesn't have a Facebook.
Well, yeah, I live in fear. That's all I do is I live in fear. I live in fear that if I let that guy call in and take up airspace on my show, everyone will tune out immediately. Why is it such a big deal that one show does things differently? For some people, I mean, we're doing gangbusters. Thank you to the audience. I mean, Pete and I, we shake each other's hands every day and go, we thought it was going to take, we had no idea. So it's going right, that there's this pockets of people who just cannot handle the fact that one show in the talk show universe does it differently. I suppose this is supposed to be a place where I can hear myself. You know where you can hear yourself? Go down to Best Buy for $100. You can start your own podcast. You can pontificate on. I don't have people on for a couple of reasons. One is I want to be in charge of the rhythm of the show, right? The other one is that if I want the show to sound different than other shows. If I add that element of callers, there's no way to differentiate. You could say it's good or bad as those shows go, but you can't say it sounds different. If you add callers, then you sound like every other show. And there is a third reason, which is, what's this guy's name?
His name is Chris.
Yeah, I don't give a damn what Chris thinks about anything.
He doesn't like when we play open mics like these.
And they actually encourage you to fart loud and proud afterwards. And they give you a carbonated beverage to go along.
See, our listeners join in. They opine from time to time. We just...
Yeah, but you what you do is you governor it, and you don't put anybody on that don't agree with you.
See how you're being hesitating and how you're talking? I don't want my show to sound like that. I want it to be a professional radio show. It's an entertainment show, an information show. It goes out to people.
Eric,
if you want to be on radio, get a radio show. That's what I say.
I was watching OA and
I don't care.
Yesterday. And
so now you're just going to parrot something that your favorite
Jack
right wing
Probasiek said that Trump's.
I don't care. So that's the thing. Oh, we have another caller on the line.
Hey, Eric.
This is what the whole show would be. This is what I decided when they said, Eric, we want you to do a daily show. This is the one thing I don't want to do is sit around and argue with people or listen to people tell me how right I am. But that is not a show for me.
When they're going to lock her up?
They are not going to. See, I don't want to have to tell you that.
But what about the original FISA warrant?
Yeah, well, there's plenty of shows.
QAnon says.
Yeah, there's plenty. You could lose yourself in that stuff. There's nothing wrong with there being one show where we do it differently. I tune in to WSB to hear what I know. I already know I know. And that's what the station is for. Don't be coming at me with other things.
Well, Rush says.
Well, that's fine for Rush. I'm a big fan of Rush myself. You want to know, Rush is one of the reasons I don't take calls. Did you know that? Because I think Rush Limbaugh, whether you agree with him or not, I don't agree with him on everything, but I do think he is the best radio broadcaster of all time. You know, I do believe that. The one part of the Rush Limbaugh program that I do not like, callers. If I tune in, I'm only in my car for as long as I'm in my car. If I tune in, if I'm tuning into your show, it's because I like you as a host. If I only have 15 minutes in my commute, I don't want it to be picked, Carol from West Virginia.
Rush, I just got my Bowling Branch sheets.
Yeah, it's a waste for me.
It's like a fart in an elevator.
Yeah, you put up with it until the doors open.
Right. Your nice, pleasant elevator ride.
Yeah.
The music's playing.
Yeah.
It's not offensive.
Yeah. So we're not going to allow farts in this elevator.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, he's afraid. That's what it is.
It's the worst part of Rush is the phone calls. You're right.
People who couldn't figure out how to get their own radio show are obviously smarter than the host of this one.
What's wrong, Jerry?
Well, that guy who figured out how to make a big paycheck just based on his opinions.
How dare he break the script?
Yeah. I think talk radio listeners they've been fed a bunch of baloney for a long time, and it's the idea this is the town square where we hear what the people think, and this station exists for you. No, it doesn't. It's a media. It exists for everybody. I got news. You can throw me off the air now. Anybody listening, WSB, the radio station, does not exist so that to help you help your favorite candidate win. It does not exist to try to make sure that one party over the other wins more or not. WSB is here to serve the wider, greater Atlanta metro area. This show welcomes everyone, anyone who enjoys current events, wants to stay up on things, maybe enjoys some good entertainment. This is not a mission. You've been sold a bill of goods. This is a show. It's a radio show. It's meant to be entertaining and informative. The host doesn't give a damn how you vote. You know what? And I hold back on saying this sometimes, but I don't have to anymore because our audience is now our audience, and we don't have to worry anymore. But I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I don't give a damn who wins the next election. There it is. You have it. As a host, I don't. Now, as an individual citizen, I'm going to go in and vote. But I'm rational and I'm reasonable. I'm going to go in and vote thinking one of two candidates will win. I'm not going to go in and vote knowing that everyone agrees with me and that my candidate damn well better win, or we all know the whole damn thing is rigged. No, I'm a sensible, reasonable person who cares about the country. So therefore, on election day, I will go in and I will vote, and then I will walk out and catch this part, kids. Let the chips fall where they may. All I know is whoever wins, I'm going to make fun of them. That's my mission. If there's any mission, I'm going to make fun of them because they're all human beings. And it's my sad duty to inform you, whether you're on the left or on the right, you've never voted for a deity. As a matter of fact, you've never voted for someone who got into politics to help you.
Should Eric continue on this viewpoint? Call 404-872-0750 or 1-800-WSB-TALK.
Don't we also have, let me know if I'm wrong or I'm right. Also, while you're at it, why don't you tell me the oldest thing in your refrigerator? Then we'll have
Hey, turn that phone off for a second. Funny you mentioned bologna, because in honor of Columbus Day, we have Sean Hannity's custom bolognas. We got Lebanon bologna. We got salami. We got the salami with the pepper things in it. Listen, just go to SeanHannity'sBologna.com. Use code word Hannity.
Slaughtered by patriots only. Yeah, I should have people. What one world needs is more opinions. Yeah, what I've found out, what I've realized now is what this world needs is one more opinion from yet another idiot. That's what we need. We just do not have enough opinions rolling out there.
I'd like to say this.
As far as I'm concerned,
lock her up.
Trump's the whistleblower. Okay.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, Trump's the whistleblower.
I'm a genius, mastermind.
Isn't there enough wackiness going on at the surface that why do you need to dig down and find things that aren't really there? There's a lot of audio that we didn't go through today, and certainly Trump held a heck of a presser with the Finnish president.
It was funny.
Yeah, this is what he kept saying. Hey, ask him a question.
Why don't you ask the Finn?
Yeah, he got in a big spar with this one guy. Here it is right here.
The question, sir, was what did you want President Zelensky to do about Vice President Biden and his son Hunter?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
Listen, are you ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked you, which
Did you hear me?
Did you want?
Did you hear me?
Yes,
ask him a question.
I will. But
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
No, sir, I don't want to be rude. I just wanted you to have a chance to answer the question that I asked you.
I've answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt. And you have some very fine people, too. Great journalists, great reporters. But to a large extent, it's corrupt and it's fake. Ask the president of Finland a question, please.
Okay, I'll move on now.
Okay.
Where's Finland?
I heard everybody's drunk over there. Is that true? One thing is, the reporter actually, it's not a bad question. And I don't know if he had asked the same question again and whether it had been dodged. Not a bad question. What is it? You say it's not bad, whatever. Well, what is it that you wanted? You were requesting something. What were you? Also, the reporter says something that people who have to answer tough questions need to keep in their mind as far as just sort of a worldview on this. A question that's uncomfortable should be seen as an opportunity to correct the record. And therefore, you should be welcoming and thankful for those questions. And if there's editorial comment within the question, you can point that out. But if you're somebody who has to answer questions like the President of the United States, you just answer them all. That's the easiest thing. And you don't throw. I understand why he's getting upset, but if the poor Finnish president, now that's like if you ever been over to like a dinner party or somebody, someone's house, and the husband and wife start quarreling, right? But somehow you get brought into it. Like, I don't think he's enjoying it, honey. It's rather obvious he doesn't want more because you burnt it. And that was very great. We have people over and you burnt it. And then the wife says, no, I think he wants more. Don't you want more? The Finnish president is sitting there like, don't drag me into this. I'm from Finland. That's all you need to know. Guess what? If a world war breaks out, you're not going to need us. You're not going to expect us. We're friends.
But we'll be there.
We'll be there. We're friends. We're 1 million miles away. We're not big enough to care about. We're Finland. Thank you. Good night. But it's really like, have you ever been caught in the middle of somebody else's argument? And all you can do is just kind of sit there. And then the ending, I like the end. Ask the Finland president a question.
Ask the president of Finland. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Ask him a question. Ask him where it is. I don't even know that.
Why don't you ask her if she wants more casserole? Maybe she can tell you.
Melania, why don't you try cooking it again?
Oh, but Trump wasn't done. There was a lot of other moments from that press conference.
He's pretty funny in this one. Go ahead.
You know, there's an expression. He couldn't carry his blank strap.
Hold on. This is about Adam Schiff.
That's right.
And he's saying that he's went against Pompeo. You don't have the one where he says he from Harvard and he graduated first?
I believe this is it.
You know, there's an expression. He couldn't carry his blank strap.
Well,
I won't say it.
Hold on. That's the end of it. What he's trying to say is that Schiff went after Pompeo. And he's talking about, look at him, he goes after Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo, well, I think he graduated first in his class at West Point, top of his class at Harvard, and that's what he's trying to say. He can't hold his, you know what.
You know, there's an expression. He couldn't carry his blank strap. I won't say it because they'll say it was so terrible to say. But that guy couldn't carry his blank strap. Do you understand that?
Do you understand?
Go to hell.
Go to hell. This is the United States.
God bless the United States.
Then you even showed a little sarcasm too. One of the somebody brought up the initial report, that New York Times report about the reptiles on the border, and then this is your response.
Hold on. Yesterday, a report was out there that the president had thrown around the idea of building a moat at the border and filling it with water and crocodiles and things like that.
Whoa, that's something. That's big stuff. That's a big story. He knew long before, and he helped write it too.
I don't know who he's referring to.
He's talking to Adam Schiff.
Schiff.
Yeah, he's talking about Adam Schiff in that.
Oh, it's zero. Okay.
Yeah.
So then he calls Schiff a lowlife.
He should be forced to resign from Congress. Adam Schiff. He's a lowlife. He should be forced to resign.
And you get all these stories. Again, I don't care if you love the president or hate the president. People seem to be in one or the other camp. But here we go again. From the same type of stories from a couple of years ago when the Russia thing started, where half the stories are just exasperation about how the president is responding. Get over it. If you're going to go after him, he's going to go after you. That's not an editorial comment. I'm a human being. I've watched the scene. I can tell you how this is going to go. If Schiff is going to impeach the president's going to go after Schiff. He's not going to be like Clinton, put his head down and just accept whatever happens. Didn't we know that last week, a month ago, a year ago? So why do I need another yet breathless story about the president is attacking Schiff? I knew he was going to do that before the impeachment inquiry started. You've been in news for 35, 40 years. How come you didn't know? News should be things that are unexpected or different. The fact that the president is going to punch back harder isn't news because it's not unexpected. It's par for the course. All right, we're done on the radio side for today. We are going to go over and do the podcast 30. People can join us. How?
There are two places they can go, Eric. They can go to the...
Thank you, Jared.
You're welcome, Eric. They can go to the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page or the WSB Radio Facebook page. There's a little red box on both those pages. Mm-hmm. You can click either one and watch us in the studio, and go Braves!
Go Braves! We'll see you tomorrow. You're all invited to join us. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Like current events and want to be the smartest among your friends? Then the Power Pod is the show for you.
The Power Pod is a weekly recap show where we cover the current events of the week.
It's a show where we're not afraid to get serious.
And we're not afraid to have some fun.
So try us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, the WSB Radio app, WSBRadio.com, Stitcher, CastBox. Okay. Anywhere there are podcasts, we are there. So power up with the Power Pod.
The podcast 30 starts right now. I'm Eric. Tim's here. Well, at least there's almost a through line to this music. There we go. J-Rad. How can you listen? How can you listen to such crap all the time and love it? I guess it's
like listening to windshield wipers.
Oh, come on. This is Porter Robinson. It's fantastic.
Oh, I knew that, but I mean, it's just shoot.
It's drug music.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know how, if you're not high.
It's thin drug music on top of that.
No, it's not.
It's not. There's nothing deep about it.
Let me tell you the honest to God truth about that kind of music from someone's ears. It's offensive to your brain and to your ears. You're not supposed to enjoy that. That's why you need altered states to enjoy it.
Not true. You can.
No, it's scientifically proven.
He comes with scientific
it's
data.
It's atonal.
The same ones that tell us that the Earth's going to end in 12 years.
Let me just tell you this. I'm sure there's a genre of EDM that I would like, but it's not whatever he likes that he plays all the time, because I
switch it up.
I need depth, and you're switching it up, but your favorite artists are all, to me, I'm not joking around or anything. To me, it's just very surface level. It's not deep. I like music to hit me in my belly and make my, and I know what's going on. It's almost like people who turn down the bass and turn the treble all the way up. It's a real high-end sort of experience. You go to these festivals. I know how it works, and probably if I was there and I was doing the same things, it would work for me. It creates a sort of a vibe wave, and you get on it, and you ride it, and you get a braingasm out of it, and I totally understand that. But as music, it's not good music. It if you were on a roller coaster with those roller coasters, you go through the tunnels and it's dark and there's a light show and that kind of stuff, it would be great.
Oh yeah,
it's great. On
the Himalaya,
ambient. It's great ambient music to other things. It's probably great actually in a chase scene in a film or something. Like, it's great kind of music in that way. But for me to sit down and just listen to that,
you're generalizing too much. That right there is just trance that I was playing. I've been playing a lot of deep house and trance because it's a little softer to intro the show. Now, if I were to go into like some old school techno or even into dubstep, I mean, that's like, talk about blowing your face off.
Well, I mean, that may be fine. Watch your language. It's a family show.
There's
about blowing your face off, for heaven's sakes.
There's lots of different.
There may be, but it all
categories.
I don't
EDM.
expect you'll ever understand this. To me, it just comes off as surface. I can say with my brain, I can go, "That's clever." Like, whoever put this together is probably an interesting, creative person. I don't say that the people who put it together aren't creative. I'm just talking about it comes off to me as just very thin and surface. There's no bang. That's like, I grew up with music that had drums and bass at the bottom of it.
Well, there's drum bass is also a category too in EDM.
Let me use art, like a painting, as an example to describe how I feel about EDM. So you have a nice painting of flowers.
Yes.
Like a Van Gogh, a realistic
That's
Van Gogh, a realistic portrait of a painting, a still life, right? That's art. Somebody painted it, they drew it first and painted it. And then some guy decides to put paint in his backside and then with an enema.
And you think that's better art, like
goes
me.
all over the paint. No, I'm saying that's not art.
Right.
It's just.
So you're blowing it off completely. I'm saying I think that there's creativity.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that, English Nick. Thank you for being here. Yeah. I don't think that the people who make it and create it aren't creative people. I do think that they are. I'm just saying, for me as a potential listener, it just comes off as very surface level. It's I understand the experience. I really do. I'll bet you if I took the right things, the right cocktail mix, and got out there, and as long as I'd have to take enough drugs that I didn't feel like a creepy old man at an EDM festival. That's the first thing. But if I could ever get there, I do. I'm trying to say to you, Jared, which when you get defensive, you don't listen, and you know how you're going to respond. If I talked for 5 minutes at the beginning, you know how you're going to respond.
It's not true.
What I'm saying is that I understand why you like it. And I can but I think that experience in and of itself as a musical experience is fun, but does not make a good large portion of your of your diet, because ultimately sometimes surface level thin things are fun, but it's like eating cake every day. Sooner or later, you got to go get some entree. You got to get something real.
It all wears out sooner or later when it's surface like that.
Well, and I think that's why you bounce around from different genres of music. I applaud myself because I jump around. I've been listening to a ton of classic rock lately.
Let's hear it for Jared Yellowman.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Says him applauding himself.
I've been listening to a ton of classic rock lately. I like country music, whether it's modern or whether it's older. That's listen to classic. Been listening to more classical music lately.
You're not discriminating. You like everything.
You were discriminating against EDM. I think EDM has mixtures of a lot of those different types of music in terms of how you create it and make it.
You're like so I was 16 years old. And a girl said to me,
Eric, you're tall.
I like you, she said.
Yeah.
And my heart, when you're 16, you
flutters.
just melt.
Yeah.
And then like a couple beats later, she said, I love you.
Oh.
And then
that was the first thing she said.
She said, I love you. And then, no, I knew her. We'd known each other.
Was she 16 too?
Yeah, she said we were kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully like 9 or something.
No, what do you think? I'm a... So
last week.
My 5-year-old friend, Peggy, said she loved me.
She said, I love you. And my heart, when you're 16. And then like a couple beats later, she said, I love everybody.
Oh.
So who cares if you're listening to more things? And I love old country music and I love new country music.
So you mentioned
Who is that possible
but
for?
See, you put me in this position where you don't allow me to defend myself in that case. And what I want to say about that is,
well, when I get on the power pad, you can put me in that position.
Defensible. Different music hits the soul differently, and I'm saying that
soul.
Yeah, hits the soul.
Excuse me. Did you just mention soul?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm not saying that all EDM hits like that. It doesn't.
I haven't heard
not all of it does.
The reason that I said it was okay for you to start the podcast 30 with EDM was because I knew that I didn't know much about it, and he's deep into it. My assumption was
way deep.
I was going to, over time, hear things that I went, oh, that's good.
A couple. I know that for a fact that
for
you
2 years.
That you like Odessa, you like Chromeo, and you definitely like
a little bit. Maybe.
Name an Odessa song.
Texas, Sweet Texas.
How about Chromeo? What's your favorite Chromeo
song? The thing about
song?
Chromeo is there's some organic stuff too going on. They play some
obviously what's happened is I'll hear little snippets and I go, okay, there's something there.
Yeah.
There's something there. But I know what's going on. And I know what's going on is that these kids like to lose their minds. Everybody likes to lose your mind. Lose yourself. You know what it really comes down to? The trance-like thing is forget your name. You want to get yourself into a position,
where you don't
right?
Exist.
Right, where actually, you're just existing, right?
Right. Yes.
There are no bills. There's no problems.
No, but I mean, the real world doesn't exist around you.
You're just off in this fog, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a perfectly good experience to have. That's what I had. That's what I still do with the help of many vaping products. I can forget my name.
Joel?
I'm talking about the other stuff.
When I'm listening to Big and Rich, I puff on my Joel.
Big and Rich, they're still around?
Yeah.
They're still around in my car, pal.
They're still putting the ting ting in the tang tang.
Oh,
Are they not?
sure are.
What a horrible song.
Play
the ting ting. What the big guy? You never hear him. John Rich. He's like out there advocating for every Republican cause. The big guy. He's just the big goofy hippie.
You don't want to talk about it.
He's a drug user.
Yeah, he doesn't appear so much on Hannity.
He's always smoking that pot. And don't get yourself a Juul, you won't need pot. That's what I say. I get high on life. And when I get stressed out, I hit my Juul.
But I will say this. I don't find it legitimate if anybody comes up to me about old country and new country and essentially says, Eric, I like George Jones and Florida Georgia Line.
What's wrong with that?
Because it makes no sense. It's not possible to actually like both.
I can see a kid. If a kid had been turned on to George Jones by, say, his granddad or his dad,
then he would
or his mom or his grandma.
Immediately reject.
He might find Florida Georgia Line by himself and like it.
Well, that's why we keep you older generation around.
That's like saying, I like birthday cake.
Yeah.
And crap. I think they both taste great.
Yeah.
How does that? That person doesn't exist.
You're not getting a glitter-covered lady at a tribute show for George Jones.
Okay, that's the visual side of things. Lady. That's not the musical side of things. I'm just saying. I think the reality here is that us millennials, we're so enlightened with our new music that we keep you guys around because you guys let's face it, right around 42 years old, you guys decide, I'm not going to accept any new music into my
That's
life
not true.
unless it sounds exactly.
He
Unless it sounds
52,
exactly like what it is that I want.
I just got the new Sturgill Simpson album.
Hey, what the hell? What the hell? What do you mean sounds exactly? How do Bob Dylan and Led Zeppelin sound exactly alike?
I was finishing my point, and one of the great things about millennials is that we keep you guys around, so that way you can teach us what the older music. But then we're here to teach you guys the new music.
This isn't Logan's Run, buddy.
But the thing is, it's as if we're exchanging gifts. I give you a birthday cake and you give me a sack of crap. It's not exactly. It's not an even exchange.
I think it's more like, from your perspective, it's more like cauliflower. I'm giving you cauliflower.
There's nothing wrong with cauliflower. It's a very great.
Thank you.
No,
there's nothing wrong with cauliflower.
It's not cauliflower because cauliflower has a low end. It has nutrients. It's good for you. It has a thing. There's some
EDM
there.
is good for you.
I would say
you don't need to take
most
ecstasy to eat cauliflower.
My mother makes the best cauliflower cheese on the planet.
Stop bragging.
It's true.
It's delicious.
Gotta make the roux.
So we're just, as millennials out there, and for anybody else that's Gen X or baby boomer, we're just happy to have you guys around.
Oh, we're happy to be here.
So that way we can learn from you guys.
Are you happy that you can reject us for building the world that you stand upon? Hey, the millennials, they stand upon the shoulders of giants and then kick the heads over and over and over
there have
again.
been some recent surveys lately that suggest that we're kind of like the greatest generation. We're starting to become more.
We are like that because.
Can you look at this? Look this up. I think that the oldest World War II veteran died last night. Can you look that up?
Really?
112. He turned 112 like a month ago.
Wow.
And the story broke so quick, and I couldn't find a lot to
American
back it up.
guy? Or British, yeah.
Do they celebrate that in Germany?
The oldest Nazi soldier has
No.
just passed away
There
at
might
the
be-
age of 90.
There might
I'm
be
seeing
some
something
splinter
from
groups.
3 weeks ago. He was 110 years
110 or 112, that was reported.
old. Yeah, man believed to be oldest living American.
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I read something wrong. I thought that he died, but I'm not wishing for him to die. But I thought that would be something striking if the last person.
He celebrated his birthday.
No, I saw.
Oh,
the thing that I saw. Shut up.
The last Aryan has passed away.
This is sad.
That's not good.
This is the saddest day in Germany. A man who fought to preserve German supremacy in Central Europe. Rest in peace, Heinz.
I was thinking about it. I wanted to talk about this on the radio show. Maybe I will tomorrow. But you know how you bring up YouTube and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff in the queue.
Rabbit hole.
I don't know how I found this, but it's got the cover picture there on this video, and it's about Bill Belichick. And there's this guy, and his name is Ian O'Connor. Now, this, I think, is from one of the Atlanta papers. Do we have two papers? No, that was gone by the time.
We just have one.
Just the AJ
by the time Belichick became, we only had one. At that
Early
point.
2000s, I think, is when they stopped.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Oh, for heaven's sakes. You've lived in Atlanta long
I
enough.
don't remember though.
All right, what's the name?
saying-
Hold on. Let's walk through this. What's the name of the paper?
Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Used to be two papers. What do you think they were called?
Oh, the Atlanta Journal and the Atlanta Constitution.
There you
Thank
go.
you very much. Yeah. I'm here until 12:30.
So I saw this thing that this Ian O'Connor, he wrote an article back when Belichick was hired by the Patriots. Yeah. Now, this guy, I want to say, this is experts for you. Journalist, know everything, opinions. This is an opinion piece. It's the Dateline is Atlanta, byline, whatever you call it.
Dateline Atlanta.
So here's the headline from this guy, this opinion sports writer. Patriots will regret hiring Belichick. Yeah, so this is, but I have a further point here, which is when it comes to experts. So I look, who is this guy, Ian O'Connor? Man. Because I'm thinking, this guy never should have gotten work again.
He's not an Irish guy who knows nothing about football, is he?
No, this dude.
Ian O'Connor.
Hi, Ian.
That's been Lucky Charms or something.
Ian O'Connor. Let me get him up here. I had his Wikipedia here a moment ago.
Look at his Twitter.
So hey, anyway, it's something like he's written. He's written a biography of Bill Belichick.
Yeah, it's already out.
To explain how he does what he does, and to explain Belichick. But if you look at this, I gotta hold on just a second.
It's the first line of that. If it's the first line, is there a forward that says I stand corrected?
By the way, Oh, here's Ian O'Connor is a sports columnist for ESPN New York, host of the Ian O'Connor Show, national Sunday morning show on ESPN Radio. Here we go. Author of the New York Times bestsellers, Arnie and Jack, Palmer Nicholas, and Golf's Greatest Rivalry, and the captain, The Journey of Derek Jeter, and now this Belichick book. Well, shouldn't this guy have been out of business after he published Patriots will regret hiring Belichick? I mean, why? Oh, but the next thing I'm sure he got right.
Oh,
the next, whatever he talks about now.
The Yankees will regret drafting Derek Jeter.
Where did Belichick come from before he was with the Patriots?
He was the Browns coach for, I think, 3 seasons.
Okay.
They were not good seasons.
Right.
And then something weird happened. Bill Parcells was a part of it because he comes off of the Parcells tree. Bill Belichick has been great in the NFL for a very long time.
Yeah.
He was the defensive coordinator with those Giants teams, Lawrence Taylor and all that, those defenses. So he got the job as the Browns head coach. It didn't go well. He didn't really have anybody. And after 3 years, I think it was 3 years.
Was that the Browns coming back after the Ravens had moved?
No. This was the original Browns
okay.
before they folded up. This is in the 90s.
All right.
And so he left there. And then something weird. So Bill Parcells was the coach of the Patriots. Maybe he took them to a Super Bowl that they lost. And wasn't Parcells the coach of the Jets for a brief period of time, even I think. But anyway, there was this weird thing that I've never quite understood. Bill Belichick was the coach of the New York Jets for several hours or a couple of days. And Pete Carroll was going to be the coach of the Patriots, and they swapped. What? And Belichick
was the coach for a while, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll swapped. He was the coach of the Jets. Of the Jets. Was he ever the coach of the Patriots?
Yeah, he coached him with Bledsoe.
Okay, and he was also the Jets. So but there was this brief, I don't even quite understand it. I remember seeing it at the time.
A job.
Parcells was basically in charge of who was going to follow him, I think, at New England. I don't know exactly how it happened, but for some short period of time, Belichick was the named head coach of the Jets, but he never coached for him. And they swapped. And Carroll went to the Jets, and he went to the Patriots. And then Bledsoe got hurt, and the 6th round pick went in for him, and the rest is history.
Oh, and then the Bills got him.
Drew Bledsoe?
Yeah.
He did all right for the Bills.
Hmm.
Did I tell you that stat about Tom Brady? Did I tell you that? Did I say that on the – I think I've said it on the
I think so, yeah.
On the podcast.
How many games he's won?
Yeah, Tom Brady, is the time that he has been – you got to remember that the Buffalo Bills – I grew up with the Buffalo Bills, so I'm still a fan. Love the Falcons, but my favorite AFC team is the Bills. And since – Tom Brady has been the quarterback of the Patriots. Now, they play twice a year, so once a year they play in Buffalo. Tom Brady has won more football games in the Bills Stadium than any individual Bills quarterback in that period of time.
I figured Tyrod Taylor had won at least.
Well, I mean,
even more than Jim?
Jim who?
Kelly?
No, this is since Brady.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry.
Not of all time.
Okay.
Just in the period that Brady has been going to the stadium once a year to play the Bills.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a quarterback roulette.
And second, the reason I thought of that was Drew Bledsoe's second. Brady now has won 16 with Sunday, and Bledsoe won 14 in that stadium, which is not bad. He was only there for a couple of years, right? Bledsoe was all right. This is not Bills talk. I go home and get that. I go home and turn on my Western New York. Everybody's got Western New York accents. They break down the film.
Should I
I love those shows.
Should I start Jan Brown even though they're playing a tough defense?
Hang on, that's an actual thing?
No, every team. This is what's beautiful is because the national sports people only talk about personalities or winning teams or teams you thought were going to win but they're losing. They won't just cover any. I don't think teams like Jacksonville and Buffalo should be the major diet. But I think if you're on every day, you should tell us what's going on around the league. What's happening in different places.
Minshew is interesting. Talk about him.
Minshew is amazing.
Spread of that,
How people didn't see him coming, I don't understand because I did. And I watched very little college football. And I was aware of the kind of magic this guy, the intangibles,
How about I'll give you $100 if Cam Newton ever steps on that field again as a Panther? That's another story that they're not talking about.
That one they talk about. That one they talk about.
Who are they starting instead?
They're the guy.
Allen.
He's been named the starter for indefinitely.
Kyle Allen. You don't know this?
No, I didn't hear about this at all. Wow.
Cam, it turns out, was not telling people about a hurt foot or something.
Yeah, he's a vegetarian.
And he's vegetarian.
He didn't tell him. He
vegan.
That's why he went vegan, and that's part of the reason why he wasn't able to heal.
Speculated. It's speculated.
Yeah, is there science behind it?
There may be some, but it's speculated it probably wasn't a good time while he was trying to heal. Now, he probably did it thinking he was being better for his body. Mm-hmm. But this Kyle Allen came in. They basically said, look, he's hurt, and he was playing like crap. So the Panthers are like, all right. So this Kyle Allen goes in. Did he have a second great game? Because he had the first game was great, and then he
first
won.
Game was great.
He won the second game.
He's been serviceable.
And guess what's great is after the game's over, when he goes up in front of the press, he just looks like a normal, common dude.
Yeah, he does.
Telling you what he's not. Yeah. He doesn't have a scarf. And,
he's Mr. All America. Really.
Let me tell you something. The scarf and all the fashionista stuff is awesome if we're winning.
Yeah,
it's annoying if we're losing.
Distraction,
and it's
really.
super annoying as a fan if I'm losing because of you. And so now people are speculating because Allen seems to be pretty good that they just won't let him back on the field. What they could do is trade him and get a whole hell of a lot for him.
What about Colin Kaepernick?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he get the job?
Yeah, a guy who hasn't played in 3 years. Hey, let's bring him in and toss him in the game.
XFL.
Yeah. He's not going to go to the XFL.
No, McMahon won't allow that.
Yeah,
there's a rule. You cannot kneel or you get kicked out.
People forget that a long time ago, Colin said that he wouldn't kneel anymore if he came back in the league. I don't know if he's withdrawn that.
I won't kneel anymore. I just want to toss the ball around, man.
And he says, he hasn't played in 3 years. Nobody's ready to play in the NFL.
My girlfriend and I play catch, but we don't use a pigskin because she's not allowed to touch it.
Nessa, you're talking about.
Nessa.
When it comes to diet, all the quarterbacks should just find out what Brady eats and just do that.
It's more than what he eats.
Brady gives up his life. His whole life. He gives up his whole life.
He gives up his whole life, and that's what Tom Brady has gotten the most out of his talent. There are certainly more naturally talented quarterbacks, but he is somebody that is so zoned in. It's hard. Look,
I was going to say,
a lot of people are fine with, hey, you know what? I'm 35 years old. I'm retiring. I never went to a Pro Bowl and I never went to a Super Bowl, but I've got $35 million in my account. You know what? I think I've done pretty good.
Yeah.
Not everybody is in it the way Tom Brady is for the championships. So you can't compete with Tom Brady unless you're going to bed at 8 p.m. on March 16th so that you're ready deep into this December into the playoff run. And that's what this guy does. His entire life is centered on
that and his whiteness
being the best. Well, certainly the privilege.
Did you see what he did with his daughter over the offseason where he pulled her? He jumped off the waterfall. That was very irresponsible.
Another reason why I'm not on social media. That was very responsible.
Yeah, but guess who's getting hurt in that equation? Not him, the daughter. So who cares? As long as he's fit.
As long as he's all right. No, the people said that because they were standing up there and then he pulled her to jump off into the water. It was down a ways. Can you see that? He put her in danger. No, they had talked about going up there. She wanted to do it. I don't even have to talk to Tom Brady about this. She wanted to do it. She got a little iffy, and he realized that they were going. And once they were going, they were on the side of a cliff where they have the areas that jut out as you go down.
You got to jump.
Beyond jumping, he had to pull her with him so that she would clear the areas that would hurt her. But this social media, and I respond to the first thing my eyeballs see.
Yeah.
No, I think he's an irresponsible parent, just like he's an irresponsible quarterback.
No, in all seriousness about the Brady diet ability situation, just watch him play. Just watch him play. Sheer natural ability.
As long as it's not the Bills, because he can't do nothing against that defense.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Except win.
It's crazy.
Well, the whole team wins.
It's crazy.
Belichick, the last 3 or 4 times, Bill Belichick is beating the Bills, not Tom Brady. All right, nobody cares about that.
Hey, can we play that Phil Collins thing?
Oh, okay, but I want to play it on the radio.
Oh, all right.
I want to play it on the radio, too, and I need the drums that come from Alan Hunt. But I would like to hear it. This is just the vocal track from Phil Collins' latest single, right? Do you have it over there?
I'm pulling it up now. I've got to mute my Facebook feeds.
All right. I didn't know you had to go
Well, you've really been causing a lot of trouble over there.
No, that's fine.
Had it ready.
No, it's fine. Look, one thing at a time here.
He's already.
We don't want to hear echoes.
He's already pre-gaming.
I know.
Okay, got it. But Alan Hunt's ready.
We don't. Alan can't hear us.
Okay.
Just play it. This is just the vocal track from his new single.
Come and see me falling off my chair tonight.
We'll put the drums in. Oh.
Hold on. Hold on.
That's brilliant.
Oh, there's more.
No, that's it.
That's it. I just
Poor old Phil.
No, I don't.
Take it easy, mate.
I'm not.
Just take it
I just
easy.
said this is the you know music.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I hope that he's doing this with a cane and a swivel chair. I mean, my doctor sits in a swivel chair.
Yeah.
He's doing this with a cane and a swivel chair because he loves performing, not because he's broke or something.
No, it's got to be performing.
Guy's made a lot
His
of
voice
money.
is still sounding okay, you know. So
Is it?
Yeah.
And so he just sits in the swivel chair.
He sits in the chair, like, you know, he's not front and center. He's kind of off.
Yeah, he's
to the
over to the
right,
side,
little
too.
bit, yeah. So the drums are in the middle, kind of thing behind him.
His son plays the drums.
His son plays the drums. It was in North Carolina on Sunday. He gets up because his son's doing a drum solo.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, like everybody else, when there's a solo, you leave the stage.
Sure.
He's coming back over with the cane.
Yeah.
You know, real slow. Grabs the swivel chair and turns it where he can sit in it. And as he goes to sit, either the chair backs up on him or he misses it.
Well, no,
and he's flat on his back.
he actually sits on the chair. I watched it, and the chair tips over backward.
There you go.
You've all been there.
Yeah.
Seems like it happens in slow motion. You're like, yeah. And then he can't get himself back up. So
I have that.
much like Tim Andrews.
I can feel it
See?
falling in the air tonight.
Hey, simpatico.
Yeah.
We can both make fun of your 3 minutes.
Tim Andrews isn't having problems with his pants. What's going on down there?
I hate that voiceover guy so much.
It must work, though, right?
I think it's meant to be
Yeah,
that
for
way.
stupid people.
Grading.
Well, between
Everything
that
is
and,
stupid people.
you know, E.T.'s got that thing where it's meant to get your attention, right? That voice gets your attention. E.T. does that clap when they're coming back from break, and so you're like, if no matter what you're doing in your house, if it's on, you're like, somebody's clapping for
You
me.
know whose attention they're not getting?
No.
Mine, because
Yeah.
it's never on in my
I'll tell you,
house.
actually, it would get my attention because I would think,
Turn it off.
I'm in somebody else's house.
Yeah.
Because I would never hear those noises in my.
Here's the other thing I hate about they use like colloquial words. Colloquial words. And so they'll show like,
Kirstie Alley, remember her? She's fat and old now. Ha ha ha
So aggressive.
She used to be attractive, but now she's fat and old. What happened, Kirstie?
And meanwhile, for the Facebook people, this is what the camera does the whole time.
yeah.
Just bounces
Yeah.
back and forth. I'm making y'all sick now.
here I am drinking from my drink.
Yeah.
With a straw.
Pitch. Is that the whole idea? Is they're pitching stories
Yes,
to
they're
them?
pitching stories.
Hey, look, it works. Guys made $1 gazillion.
Ted Danson's come a long way since you wore blackface with Whoopi Goldberg.
Is Entertainment Tonight, is that still...
It's
da-
right.
da- 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 da-
Yeah, but it goes. Now before that, every time it's a clap. And so, like, when I'm
Please tell me it's Christina who's always has this on and not
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Why do women like that stuff so
It's
much?
more vacuous than it was in the 90s
Yeah.
and 80s. It's just
Why do women like that stuff so much?
Well,
Why do they
women
like
not all
gossipy-
women, but they do.
Well, no, Ayn Rand didn't have a taste for it. But
Well, what none? How do you know? If Ayn Rand had been around and they had TMZ,
can you imagine? Did you hear?
only the best will survive.
Did you hear that Travis Scott and
Ayn Rand is showing us her free will.
That's like, there's a good bit. Like back in the old days, you could do really good. Like the audience, there was enough of a comedy audience that was somewhat educated. I remember on PBS, not on PBS, on SCTV, Second City Television, in the early '80s, because they used to do those. What was it where the stars got together and they would compete athletically?
oh, the
Ladies-
Battle of the Network Stars.
Right, yeah, they did Battle of the
Kaplan.
Yeah.
captain of the track team.
Battle of the PBS Stars, and they
PBS?
Yeah, have you
Oh,
ever
I gotta
seen this?
find that.
No, it's great. And so Martin Short plays Fred Rogers, and he gets in the ring with John Candy's playing Julia Childs, and she beats the hell out. SCTV is where.
Oh,
all-
it's a boxing. Yeah, and he has a mask on.
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers mask. No, he's got facial stuff on. Yeah.
Dude, Martin Short, I think, is one of the funniest
He
human
is.
beings on the planet.
SCTV
He's so
is what
funny.
turned me on. There's-
Yeah,
I mean,
what's your
that-
favorite anthem?
I don't know. I look back at the stuff now, and I don't know if it holds up. Some of
lot
it
of
does.
it,
A lot of it does. A lot of it doesn't. But that was the show that made me. There's two things. That's the show that made me realize, oh, you can do more than set up punchline with jokes. Because
Yeah.
I loved like on Friday nights, I was allowed to stay up late when the Tonight Show was on it was on until it was an hour and a half long.
On Saturdays or Friday?
No, on Friday. On Friday nights, I was allowed to stay up late because there was no school the next day. So I could watch. The comedians were always on the Tonight Show in the last 30 minutes.
Right, and it was 90 minutes then.
90 minutes, that's what I'm saying. So I could stay up late and watch it. And so I fell in love with, like Steve Martin. And who did you just mention? No, not him. Albert Brooks, people like that were on, so I really began to appreciate the setup, punchline, that whole thing, working the audience. But then SCTV, don't hit the music yet. I will tell you the moment, and it's kind of a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, I guess. But the moment that I realized that comedy, you could kick out that fourth wall and do anything that you wanted to. Because SCTV, if you don't know about it, it's the people from Second City in Toronto, but they created a television network. And so they did all of their sketches were built into you're watching SCTV. And then there was also behind the scenes. And the same people played the people on the shows and played the executives behind the scenes. And the top guy was Guy Caballero. And he was in a wheelchair. And when I found SCTV, I watched it in America. What they would do is they would take like 3 weeks of shows. It was a half-hour show. And they had so much catalog back when they got it. It would be an hour-and-a-half show that would come on, I think, on Friday nights.
It would come on, where I lived, it was after SNL.
It was probably, what are you doing?
It's going to bring us out.
All right, we're done. And it was great to talk to you. And we'll come back and talk to you tomorrow.